Director of the new comedy Plan B, Brandon Tamburri, calls into the show. Tyler makes it by the skin of his teeth, or maybe not. And Joseph has Nick Cage fever.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
And I'm Joseph.
I'm sorry. Like I don't know what to say.
Tyler's missing
Tyler is,
once again.
yet again,
Who knows where he is?
and you won't believe it. Tyler's not here again.
Well, allegedly he's on his way.
Well, he had to feed the cats.
Yeah, feed the cats and
Replace the water
landscape
heater.
his yard real quick, according to his lease agreements.
Yeah, that's right. So thank you to everyone joining us on YouTube Live and otherwise, and of course the OG classmates out in podcast land. We got a really cool show today. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Are you talking to me or the viewers?
I guess everybody.
Oh man, I'm excited.
Oh, good.
Feeling a little sassy today.
Yeah, are you?
Yeah, just a little.
All that Nick Cage reading you were going to.
Yeah. My epiphanies and new information I've learned about Nick Cage has put me in a mood.
Yeah.
Tyler's gonna get the brunt of it.
Yeah. Oh, great. Awesome.
A lot of fists flying and I don't know.
So we're not going to wait any longer. We're just going to go get right into some gab and chatter.
Find some character in ye, lad. Now's the time for gab and chatter.
Gab and chatter, movie news of the week. And normally I would defer to Tyler or Joseph in this, but I'm going to run point on this one because we have a writer, director, producer of the new comedy that stars Jamie Lee and John Heder. Is out as of yesterday on digital VOD, rental, and purchase. Pretty much anywhere you can find those live. The movie's called Plan B, and we have Brandon Tamburri on the back line. What's up, Brandon? How are you doing?
Hey, how's it doing? How's it going? I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for
great.
asking.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from New Jersey.
Oh, okay, cool.
The East Coast.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's I don't really have any experience with the East Coast, but Joseph just got done doing the National Treasure tour.
Oh yeah.
Followed Nicolas Cage's route all the way up to find the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah. It didn't hit Jersey though. Went to New York and then went to Boston after that. So
the only thing I really know about Jersey outside of, the shore that everybody's known for now, I guess, is Taylor ham or Taylor pork rolls or something like that. Is that a thing?
Yeah, so in North Jersey they call it Taylor ham, and then in South Jersey they call it pork roll. So pork roll to me.
Pork roll to you?
I'm in South Jersey. I'm in like the Philadelphia suburbs.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, okay. It's
a regional dialect. So your new movie's Plan B. It's I watched it. It's a lot of fun. There's a number of times where I was cackling out loud, and it's starring Jamie Lee, is a face that I don't recognize, but she's been a writer for Ted Lasso. Is that correct?
Yeah, so she's a writer for Ted Lasso, producer, and also a very funny stand-up comedian.
Oh, really?
Nice. Did you follow that track as well? Did you do stand-up?
No, I did stand-up a couple times when I was in college and was not very good, so I decided to stick to writing for other people instead of myself.
Oh, okay.
That's funny. I can't imagine. So there are times when I think it would be really fun to do stand-up, and then I think, God, I don't want everybody to judge me. I'm so fragile.
Yeah, I didn't like it very much. I think I did it 3 times total when I was like 18 to 19 years old, and I just wasn't great and I would get too nervous up there and just didn't like the harsh criticism while everyone's staring at you.
Yeah.
Immediate feedback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the story. The plot, I think, is a really fun plot. The elevator pitch for it is really hooked me when I read the description. So tell us about the Plan B. What's it about?
So it's about this girl named Piper, early 30s, doesn't really have her life together, really a bit of a hot mess. And she goes out one night, has a little bit too much to drink, and she drunkenly sleeps with this awkward guy who lives in her apartment building, who's played by John Heder. And unfortunately for Piper, she ends up pregnant from this one night stand.
Yeah.
And when she goes to tell John Heder's character, Evan, that she's pregnant, she just realizes how unfit this guy is to be a father. So she decides not only is she going to keep the pregnancy a secret from him, but she's going to then try to quickly find a more successful guy that she can then sleep with and then tell this new guy that he's the father.
It's diabolical, but it's just so crazy it has to work.
Yeah, that's really I'd say the general elevator pitch, but then a little bit more into the plot without giving too many spoilers is that leads to like a series of funny but failed attempts at trying to find a new guy. Then she does actually meet a guy who checks all the boxes and seems on board for the pregnancy, of course, thinking the baby is his. But then the more real things get with this new guy, the worse our protagonist starts to feel. And then that's really where the heart of the story is.
Yeah, I as the story progressed, I was thinking, I think it's going to go this direction. And there were some surprising twists along the way that kind of shocked me and made the human element and like the heartfelt part of the story really front and center more than the comedy at times. And I really appreciated that because I think that's necessary to make the story kind of impactful, for the viewer and to care about the characters and whatnot. And by the end, I was like, wow, how could you do this? I was so judgmental of Piper. And once it kind of came around and the story developed into what it was, I was really satisfied with the way you've kind of like finished off the story. So very well done.
I really appreciate that. That really was my goal, I'd say, to focus a lot on the emotional elements and the heartfelt moments, because there is quite a bit of comedy in the movie, but the pacing is pretty quick in my opinion, and all of the comedy plays into the plot. Like there's not really any jokes there just because they're funny. All of the jokes really go into the story somehow, and they're all there for a reason to advance the story.
Yeah, yeah, and it was really nice to see John Heder again. I mean, anytime I can see him on screen, it makes me smile. So this is a passion project. It's a grassroots sort of thing, and you raised the majority of the money for this yourself. Tell us, the listeners, we're big fans of indie stuff. We champion it. We want our listeners to go, see the indie stuff out in theaters or rent it or purchase it. What was a monumental task to gather up the money to make this?
So yeah, I actually raised all of the money for this myself, which was a huge task, I'd say, to to have one person doing all of that. But pretty much I started off just reaching out to people that I knew that were not in the film industry, like friends of friends, local business people, things like that, people like that really, again, had no experience in the film industry at all.
Yeah. Just
pitching them this project, like, hey, I'm trying to make this film. And we'll get into in a little bit. I did have some other experience in the film industry, but this was going to be the first feature film that I was trying to direct. And I was able just to get a bunch of people to throw in, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, a little bit of money each, and then was able to have a pretty big pot. And then I was able to take that money that I raised and go to a handful of people that I had met from working in the film industry that had previously been involved with films and film financing, and was able to finish off the rest of it. And I had enough money to make the movie. And then we started casting it and filmed it. And here we are all this time later.
When did the whole journey start for you?
So it started a long time ago. We filmed the movie 2 years ago, a little over 2 years, actually. It was the summer of 2022. We filmed it. The movie has been fully finished for over a year at this point, and it's just taken a little over a year to get distribution and be released.
Yeah.
I really started focusing on trying to make this movie, I'd say, like the beginning of 2021. So it's been almost 4 years, I'd say, of really putting a lot of effort into trying to make it. But the script I had written even years before that. The first draft of the script, it's funny because I was just looking at it yesterday, was from August of 2018. That's the first draft of the script. And then about 2+ years of just not really doing anything with it, making rewrites and tweaks in my free time and nights and weekends. And then by the end of 2020, I knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to try to make this movie, raise the money in 2021, filmed in 2022, and then a year of post-production, and now it released yesterday.
That's awesome. How's that feel?
It feels great. It's nice to finally be able to actually watch it. I can go on a bunch of different platforms now and I see the movie on there. People that I know have told me they've watched it. There's people that I don't know that I'm seeing talk about it online. So it's definitely a cool feeling to know that it's actually a real movie now.
That's really awesome. That's the dream.
Yeah, it's almost like you've been working on it for so long, since 2018, almost 6 years now, right?
Yeah.
And now it's like, I don't want to say it was like a burden or a weight that's lifted off your shoulders, but in a sense, it's like, well, now I can finally now it's in existence. It's manifested. I've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely how I feel in a way for probably the last like 3 years, even especially since filming it, which was 2 years ago at this point. Pretty much everyone that I know, every time I see them, if they're not someone I talk to regularly, they're like, "Oh, when's the movie coming out? Like, how's the movie doing?" And now I can tell them the movie is available to go rent or buy.
Yeah.
Finally out.
You don't have to say, well, we hit a snag. Well, we're doing that.
Yeah, there were 6 years of that pretty much.
Yeah, there's like almost like you feel guilty. The small sense of like, maybe I should do that this weekend. It's like the project that just gets pushed back over and over again.
Mm-hmm. And Joseph he's done a number of short film productions. He's a like camera operator, DP sort of guy. And I've watched stuff that you've been a part of go fast track and stuff that gets stretched out and stuff. And just even having a small little short you might have worked on that, is no hopes for a festival circuit or any of that stuff. It's just that lingering thing. So I can't imagine the size if you got the talent you have, John Heder, Tom Berenger, Shannon Elizabeth, Vernon Davis. It's like we're from Sacramento. I used to follow football, years ago. I haven't done it in years since I cut cable off at my house, but Vernon Davis played for the Niners for like my childhood. So I saw the name on there, like, really, that Vernon Davis? That's cool. He's doing
I'm an
thing.
Eagles. Yes, I'm an Eagles fan, big Eagles fan, but a huge NFL fan and huge football fan. I used to work at NFL Films, actually. That was my first job out of college.
Oh,
so
cool.
To be able to work with Vernon was awesome because, again, like you guys, I grew up watching him, and I had heard that he transitioned into acting, and he really, I think, is great in the movie. It's unexpected. It's really funny. He's definitely a really good actor, I'd say, and he hasn't done as much comedy as I hope that he does because he's super funny.
Yeah, it was you're always kind of waiting for the professional athlete to be the stiff board in the room, and he was charismatic and kind-hearted and empathetic, and he was the Lamaze coach, which was funny. So looking back at your past experience, you have a couple of projects you've worked on with National Lampoons. How'd you get your foot in the door there?
So I was working for a production company, and the production company actually acquired National Lampoon. And I grew up being a big comedy fan and just always wanted to work in comedy. So when that happened, I tried to be as involved with National Lampoon as I could. And I was lucky enough to be able to direct and produce some projects for them. There was a sketch series that we did that was released on Roku, and I directed a comedy special as well.
Oh, nice.
And also just produced a bunch of other content there. No feature films, unfortunately, but a lot of fun projects with a lot of funny people.
Well, it's your coming out party, so your movie's here. You've taken it to full term. By the way, I like the poster's got the spermatozoa in the A. I told one of my friends that we were talking to you, and he's like, I haven't heard about that movie. He looked up the poster and instantly was like, oh, that's great. I like that detail.
Yeah, I think the poster is pretty solid. I'll give our sales agent, Premier Entertainment, made that poster. So, and our distributor, Quiver, actually did tweak it up a little bit. So,
gotcha.
I got to give them some creative input off drafts and stuff like that, but I was not the one that made it.
Nice. And then the one thing that I saw in your credits was a producer credit for Hereditary, which it was like whiplash looking at the going from from Hereditary to National Lampoons. What was your involvement with that? And how'd you get involved with the Astor group?
So on that movie, I was an associate producer, and I mentioned that I work for a production company, and that production company happened to produce Hereditary. So anything that company was producing, I just got to be involved with just because I was working there.
Oh, nice.
And there were a bunch of projects I worked on that weren't great. Some of them were really good, and Hereditary is definitely the one that everyone knows about. And it was a great experience. So as an associate producer, I'd say I was junior level producer working under the main producers, and I would do things from whether it's some creative stuff like being involved in giving script notes and edit notes, like giving notes on the cut of the film and things like that as we were working on the edit. And then there was also just some random administrative stuff like working on opening up insurance policies and going to the bank and opening up bank accounts and that boring things like that, sending wire transfers. But ultimately, it was a really cool project.
That all falls under the producer kind of umbrella. That's really interesting.
Yeah, so a producer has to do everything to get the movie made, and I was essentially doing all of the stuff that the main producers didn't have time for.
Oh, okay.
Very cool.
Any interaction with Ari?
Yeah, I haven't talked to him for quite some time, to be honest, but we talked a good amount while we were making that movie, and it was cool seeing Ari as someone who had never made a feature before. He had only done shorts at that point, and they were very good, very weird and twisted. So if you haven't seen them, I'd recommend going to watch his short films.
Yeah.
And
wild.
yeah, just working with him, though, you could really tell that he knew exactly what he wanted and was at some point going to be a very good director. Like even myself as a director, me next to Ari would be no comparison at all. I'd say there's a bunch of people that you meet that could be like a dime a dozen directors that could be a director for hire, but Ari was not like that at all. He just really fought for every frame of that movie. And yeah, just a very smart person. And it showed because he's now known as like a top director out there. Not like he really is a top director out there.
Yeah. He's a phenom. He's like the LeBron James, where he came into the league swinging like full speed with Hereditary. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and the funny thing about Hereditary is it was really a lower budget independent horror film, and it ended up getting into Sundance and getting great reviews, and then A24 picked it up and gave it the wide release, and yeah, it did like as good as it possibly could have at the box office and with the critics.
Nice. Hey, we got Tyler in the room now. Hi, Tyler.
Hi.
Welcome.
How's it going?
Chaotic as always.
Okay, great. We're talking with Brandon Tamburri from Plan B, writer, director, producer, everybody, if you're just joining us on the live stream. And you guys can stream the movie now. You can rent it. You can buy it. It's on Apple, Vudu, Fandango, pretty much the big five of movie rentals services. And it's available as of yesterday. And if you're in Palm Springs, or name that one small town in Ohio, Brandon.
Maumee, Ohio, you could see it in a theater tomorrow. The Maumee Indoor Theater.
Mommy?
Malmy.
Malmy. Oh, I thought you said mommy. I was like, what?
Hey, pass me that mall, Malmy. Or maybe it's a bear mall.
It's like Maumee.
Oh, okay.
It
is mommy.
Mommy, but spelled differently.
You have any fun stories or any kind of interesting stuff that happened on set that, if you ever get the chance to do a physical media release, you would maybe do some like behind the scenes or commentary stuff to, pique the audience's interest about the production?
Yeah, so there's tons of things like that. Unfortunately, there's no DVD right now, but what we did release that some of your listeners may be interested in, because I know you said you really like to highlight independent filmmaking. So we launched a podcast just this past week actually, to go along with the release of the film. It's called the Joke Zero podcast, and that's the name of my company, Joke Zero.
Yeah.
And every episode has a different member of the cast or the crew. I'm on every episode as the producer. It's hosted by Anna Roisman, who's a comedian who has a small day player role in the movie. And pretty much everyone, there's going to be 20 episodes that are releasing over the next couple weeks. And really everyone involved with the movie is on an episode. They not only talk about Plan B, but also just talk about filmmaking, independent filmmaking, how they came up in the industry, past projects they've worked on. So like John Heder talks about Napoleon Dynamite and all these projects you love him for. And everyone talks about all of the past projects they've been on. So that was a really fun project to make. It's been fun really reminiscing, I'd say, over the last month of recording all of these podcast episodes.
Yeah, that's really cool. It seems to be a trend with like TV shows where it'll be like a high drama or something like Walking Dead that's more horror centric, and they'll have the podcast afterwards that's a company, and they put it on screen. I'm like, that's kind of a cool thing. You get to watch the movie, and then you hear it's like almost like immediate commentary track for the what you just watched.
Well, it's like football. Like after the game,
That's a great point.
they have the after talk of what the
Post
game
game,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, post game. That's thank you.
Huge Steelers fan over there. Yeah, Tyler. Well, you didn't catch this, but Brandon lives just outside of Philly, so he's an Eagles fan.
Oh, I'm
Yep,
so sorry.
big Eagles fan.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, the Eagles, they haven't looked great, but they are 2-1.
Tyler claims to be a Steelers fan, although all his
I don't
jerseys,
claim I am.
all his jerseys are freshly minted.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. I'm a very new pro football fan, and I chose the Steelers because the Steelers are the most punk rock football team in the league because they only have the one logo on the helmet. And
Yeah,
when
you-
the
you
commissioner
said that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Just one example of why they're punk rock. Why that? What else
Yeah.
is punk rock? Because they hired Big Ben,
well,
convicted felon Big Ben.
I'm not.
You're a hero.
There's
Tattooed on your flesh. 07.
well, there's a checkered history there. So,
Anyways, if Tyler, the movie also features Vernon Davis.
Really?
Yeah, former tight end for the 49ers.
You know who that
for
is?
years.
No.
Huge
He is
football
a new
fan.
football fan. Yeah. Vernon Davis, multiple time Pro Bowl or Super Bowl champ.
That's right. He made. I can't remember what they called it. It was like the catch 3 or the immaculate reception 3 or something like that in the Super Bowl against the Seahawks. I think. I want to say I watched that game in my friend's garage and it was explosive.
Really?
But yeah. Anyways, so so Plan B, it's out now. I encourage our listeners to go watch it, support independent projects, support independent movies. We talked about it. It's been a many years running to get this movie made. Go out and support it. That's all we ask.
Anything that you're working on right now for like another feature, or are you kind of taking a little break from now that you've finally done this one?
So I have a few projects in the works that I'm hoping to get made at some point. I don't think I necessarily have it in me to go spend years raising money myself and things like that. So I'm hoping that people like Plan B enough that maybe I could set one of these other scripts up at a bigger production company and still be involved in the process, but not be
The
doing
guy.
like 50. Yeah, the guy doing like 50 different jobs, wearing all these different hats.
Yeah, man, that's a lot. I mean, I don't know how Neil Breen does it year after year. He caters, he edits, he does this composition.
Yeah, I mean, like Aronofsky, when he made Pi, he went door to door and sent letters to people, and it was very some parallels there with the way you made your movie and the way he made his first movie.
Well, any comparison to Darren Aronofsky, I'll take, and not one that I would expect, even if it is just in the terms of not actual movie making and just work ethic.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities, I think, between yours movie and Pi.
Yeah, Pi. The psychological unraveling of Piper really threw me off in the third act. Dale, thank you so much, man, for joining us, and I really appreciate your time. And everybody, go out and watch Plan B.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah.
And enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Later.
Yep, see
So
ya.
long.
What a delight.
Yeah.
What's up, Ty Ty?
Welcome.
Hi.
You missed a banner first half of that interview.
I know.
It was a delight.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I apologize for my tardiness. It was a very chaotic first half of my day.
I don't know that he deserved to die.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. No, I do apologize to the classmates. I apologize to my two only friends that I have in my life.
Apologize to Brandon. That's who you should apologize
And
to.
Brandon, yes. I'm sorry
Wait.
for my tardiness.
We thought you fell asleep again.
I did not know.
I was wide awake.
Yeah, it's. I'm not gonna even get into my personal life right now and what's going on, but
That's for the post podcast.
yeah, post.
That's for middle class after dark.
But yeah, Plan B sounds great.
Yeah, it's
and
fun.
I'm glad that it's super available.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good time. It's
I wanted to ask him if he was inspired by the title Plan B of the Glenn Danzig's record label Plan B. Because in the 80s,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. It's the pill. It's about a pregnancy that's unwanted. Well, it's wanted, but just not the father.
The father's not wanted. Yeah.
because when I heard Plan B, I immediately thought of Danzig.
I'm sure you did.
Bruce thinks that we should give Tyler a punishment movie for being late.
Oh, yes. I think that's a great idea.
You know what?
What
yeah.
have I done?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's
your bed. Now it's time to sleep in it.
yeah.
Take your medicine. This is the wheel of punishment.
Oh, I haven't.
No,
Tyler, don't disrespect the drop.
I'm not disrespecting
You
it
talked
at all.
over the whole thing.
Oh.
I haven't.
I
We haven't used this in a long time.
No, we have not. I put you on the spot.
Yeah. All right, so here.
But yeah, Bruce is in the chat. He suggested the punishment movie, so that's what we're gonna do.
All right.
Oh, you got it ready already?
Yeah, I got it.
Hell yeah.
I
All
pulled
right,
it
go.
up.
Let's punish my life even more than I've been going through for the past 48 hours.
All you have to do is just send us a text message. I could have prepped and got a backup person. I could have had a
Put an image in your place.
yeah. I could have had Glenn Danzig in your visage right there.
I know. I
Just
I'm
if you're
Don't blame this on your life.
running late,
You got-
guys.
You're glued to your phone. I see. You're always on it.
I'm not always on my phone.
Oh, that's me.
Oh,
My-
wait.
that's me,
hold on.
my bad.
Actually,
Yeah,
hold
can you
on one
text
second.
your fan club? Tell them to
Here,
come
let me
watch the stream. We need the hours watched.
Yeah, let me just get on my phone here really
You need to
quick.
turn on your share your location with us so we know where you are at all times.
Wait, now I have to share my location?
At least on Saturdays.
All right.
It just would be nice to
Just
you
give
know,
us an update.
I know.
It'd be nice if you thought about us for
listen, I know. I
once. Joseph, you want to spin that wheel?
Okay.
spin it.
There's a
Listeners who don't know, this is a amalgamation of movies that the listeners have written in that are punishment movies for situations just like this.
Just like
I'm actually putting one
my
on
tardiness.
that I watched that I'm going to mention. But I'm putting this movie on the punishment movie because it is a punishment for sure.
What one?
Jeepers Creepers Reborn.
Oh, fuck yeah. That was going to be our first watch along, but I figured I didn't want to do that to the listeners.
Oh no. Yeah.
Bruce says Tyler was too busy ogling AI vampire women online.
Wow. He knows me so well.
I was just going to say, that's literally what he was
knows
doing.
me so well.
What he was doing.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to spin the wheel punishment right now.
Give it a spin.
It's spinning. Just trust me.
I can barely hear the ticking.
Yeah. Oh God. No.
What is it?
I don't know if this counts as a punishment. American Mary.
American Mary.
I don't know.
I've heard that's actually not bad, but American Mary.
American
All
Mary.
right, let me write it in my notes. Let me make sure it's
We'll make
in
sure
there.
it does not watch it.
American Mary.
No,
It almost landed on Empire.
Oh shit! If it landed on Empire, we would require a live stream of this to make sure
live stream?
you're actually watching it the whole
Should
time.
we do it for the Patreon?
Yeah, I could put the 9 hours of you watching Empire, the static shot of the Empire State
Oh,
Building.
that's right. That's what it is.
for the Patreon.
Just me talking about nothing.
No,
Just-
you
like, it
wouldn't
would
be
just be-
talking. You'd be sitting there.
No, just me sitting there. No,
Yeah.
I can't be silent. Come on.
Yeah, that's
on.
true.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, I just want to make sure you're not on your phone. You're actually paying attention to the movie.
yeah. Raw dogging the Empire.
Raw
Like,
dog.
personal record, raw dogging.
God damn it! I forgot that movie was freaking awesome.
Submitted by Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan wanted us to watch that like on the wheel.
It's like why? What?
So,
All
yeah,
right,
American Mary.
American Mary. I will watch it.
Next week, or you get another one.
I'll get another. Oh,
If you don't watch, if you don't report
if I
back
don't
next
watch.
week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
well,
just gonna keep
check out for my
stacking.
Yeah.
Look for that
just
letterbox
keep
review.
stacking it. Up. Just keep stacking it up. Yeah.
You're the one that wanted to do this podcast. I'm just remind everybody.
Yeah.
Whenever we
Wait,
talk,
this whole thing was your idea.
Yeah, it was.
whenever we talk about the
And look what you've done.
origin story of this podcast, Tyler's like, "Yep, that was me. I did that. I was the one." And now here you are.
He doesn't want to. He only wants to own the achievements and rewards of the podcast. But
Angie has a new nickname for you, Tardy Tyler.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's
It's a little weird.
maybe if there's a T in there instead of a D.
I feel like
It's Tarty.
Tarty?
Tarty. Okay.
Yeah. All right. All right.
keep the nicknames coming.
Anyways, we're hot into Gavin chatter.
Do you have a news story?
I do.
Oh, you do? Great.
Oh, why?
I was just gonna say, I think maybe that I'm asking too much, but Tyler clipped two pedestrians on the way here while looking up his news story.
Get out of my way.
So, all right, go. So, what do you got for this, Tyler?
Everyone knows who Hideo Kojima is.
Not everybody does know. Why don't you give us the
Out of
listeners
the-
a preference?
everyone who plays video games.
Not everybody has your brain.
If anyone who doesn't know Hideo Kojima, well, listen up.
Okay.
He made Death Stranding, which is a favorite video game of mine, considering I'm a delivery driver now, and that movie is
About being a delivery driver.
It's prophetic now.
Yeah, that video game is about delivering stuff. And he also headed the series Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4. No, actually, no, it's not 1 through 4 because he did 2
Metal Gear Solid. That's enough.
He did 2 NES games. But anyways, he's in talks with making a Death Stranding movie with WME.
Okay.
Warner Media Entertainment. I don't know.
It's your story.
You guys know what that is?
I don't know what they just say WME. So he's 61 years old. He's a Japanese game developer, and they on Variety.com they say that he's the mastermind behind Death Stranding and Metal Gear, which
True.
I don't know anything about video game development, so I don't know I know he probably had a lot of involvement in the earlier games. I know he had a lot of involvement in Death Stranding, but as far as the technical aspects, I'm not sure how much he was involved in. But with the stories,
he's the Steve Jobs of those games.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
He's the brain master. He's not in there soldering motherboards or whatever.
Like Neil Druckmann in Last of Us and stuff. He writes the story, and I don't know the technical abilities. Maybe.
Well, I mean, if those games are so cinematic, you basically are a director,
right?
The whole project is yours, and you're like, no, we ain't doing that cheesy pie bullshit. We're making this dark, baby.
Yeah. Okay, so I just saw that WME is a talent agency. In Hollywood.
Okay.
So he signed on to them. And so ahead of his appearance at the Tokyo Game Show this weekend, Kojima spoke with Variety about selecting WME as his liaison. In the world of TV and film, his plans for upcoming video games, Death Stranding 2, Physint, and Jordan Peele collaboration OD, as well as an update on the Death Stranding movie adaptation and his insistence on remaining an indie game developer at Kojima Productions, which, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, cool. So we're getting a movie from him, is what you're saying.
A Death Stranding movie.
So he said, I made games at Konami for 30 years. Though I was offered a lot of work outside of the company to film commercials or films or write scripts, I couldn't do any of them because I was employed at Konami, and I was a board member as well. Also, the games that I made were not my IP. They belonged to the company. At the end of 2015, I went independent. Because I love movies, I could have gone on to shoot movies or commercials, but for the first phase, I thought about the video game fans all across the world who were waiting for my next new game. So I decided to create a video game first. I regard myself as indies, and therefore we are not funded by anyone. We do partner with first parties, but only in the position as an indie company. We created our first IP, Death Stranding. Since this is our own IP, we have released it on multiple platforms and hardware. And then he's just going on about how he's proud about being a part of being an indie game owner, and so
well, that's cool. I mean, the
article is about that he is using this company that is going to be multimedia, and his focus is making a Death Stranding movie. And I know, Joseph, you played Death Stranding.
Yes.
And that is, I think do you think there's a movie to be made there?
Probably. I mean, it's already kind of like a movie. It's very abstract and weird.
Just cut out all the walking.
But yeah, it's very, the story is it's very absurd what is going on in the game.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of cool elements that could translate to a movie that would be equally as ununderstandable on the first playthrough. That's how
interesting.
So-
kind of feels like a cyberpunk future, dystopian future, but set
Right.
out in the like outside of the city
Wilderness.
limits. Yeah, exactly.
Everybody lives underground because the rain kills you. It's acid or something.
It's called timefall. So when the
Oh,
rain
it ages you.
Yeah,
Right.
it
What?
ages
That's
you.
cool.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like when a raindrop like falls like on like there's a scene in the game where like a raindrop falls on someone's hand and it like wrinkles it.
Yeah, it ages you, and
So-
it ages the packages that you're delivering. And,
Yeah.
you know,
I have a.
Yeah.
I want to suggest people to follow Hideo Kojima on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, his username is Hideo_Kojima_en, like English.
his English account.
He posts. Yeah, he posts in Japanese, and it translates. You know.
Yeah.
But he's constantly hyping up people with cool projects. He's
Yeah.
like Guillermo del Toro that way, where he'll watch something or see something and just like retweet it and talk all this.
That's funny
like,
because he's in Death Stranding.
I know, and so they're very kindred spirits in that. And I want to read just a one tweet that gives you an idea of like his energy. This is after he saw Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Just saw Furiosa, a Mad Max saga in IMAX for the third time. I bought 3 booklets. The chase scene with Octobos it still makes me roar no matter how many times I see it. The rhythm of the movements and the attacks, backwards, forward, under the truck, in the air, and on the truck, the direction and the camera, the glue space between the action sequence is well defined. So it's easy to understand even when the positions are changed. This kind of connection cannot be achieved without shooting with multiple cameras simultaneously and then editing. It's a miracle that everything was calculated and studied in pre-visualization and realized with stunts and VFX.
Yeah.
And he just goes on and on and on. I think at the first time he saw it, he tweeted out this thing where he said, George Miller is a god. I am his disciple. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
He kind of makes a really good point here in this article too during the interview. He said back in the day, movies and games were 2 different worlds. It was like analog versus digital. It didn't mix well like oil and water. Nowadays, movies are also digital, like being shot on digital cameras instead of film. The pre-production and post-production phases are digital too. It even streamed digitality. There seems to be more understanding in the conversations I have with people in the filmmaking industry. That wasn't always the case. Now there are movies that use Unreal Engine, which is a video game development, to create their backgrounds and environments. They also use performance capture, PCAP, like we do. So the technology is almost the same up to a certain point. So what he's getting at is, so he made this company and he's proposing to Variety that, yes, like we made a video game with this company, but we want to branch out to more forms of media.
Bruce says your new nickname should be Tyrim.
What does that even mean? Tyrims?
Because
Skyrim.
of Skyrim music.
Well,
He's calling you an NPC.
no, I'm the main character, Bruce. I'm sorry.
That's true. Tyler's the main character.
In everybody's life.
Yeah, that's what's that movie with Nicolas Cage called? Dream Scenario.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. You know what's funny? Someone recommended that movie to me.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anything else, Tyler?
No, that's it.
All right, great. All right, Joseph, what do you got?
Speaking of Nicolas Cage, actually, I have some things I learned about Nicolas Cage that you guys may or may not know. You might know this already.
Okay.
I just am late to the party, but I was like talking with some people, and so Francis Ford Coppola owns a couple wineries.
Yep.
In
Coppola
Napa.
wine.
Coppola wine, and also Inglenook.
Inglenook?
Inglenook Winery.
Sounds like a Hobbit wine.
Yeah. At least I don't know if he still owns it or if he's like, yeah, I own it, but somebody else runs it, or like there's like a stewardship or something going on there. But at one point he did own it. He bought it in like the 70s. And there's a bunch of Nicolas Cage stuff there. And right? It's like, I guess
They're related.
Yeah, this is like this person told me this. And I was like, why is there a bunch of Nicolas Cage? It's like a room dedicated to Nicolas Cage. Is Coppola just a big fan of Nicolas Cage?
No, it's a nephew.
And I was like, and then he was like, they're related actually.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Yeah, he's Sofia Coppola's cousin.
Yeah.
And I had no idea.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, that's his nephew
I had no idea.
or uncle.
And he changed his name because he wanted to make it on his own.
He's an anti-nepo baby.
Yeah.
and his full name is Nicholas Kim Coppola.
Kim. That's cool.
Nicholas
Like Kim Jong-un.
or like Kimberly.
Oh, okay, maybe.
I don't know.
Jimberly. His name is
Jimberly.
I thought that was so funny because I had no idea.
Other celebrities that changed their name from a famous Emilio Estevez.
Estevez.
Yeah, he's
Didn't he just take?
Really?
He's Martin Sheen's son.
Yeah.
He's Charlie Sheen's brother.
That one is news to me. I knew about the Nicolas Cage being a nephew to Coppola, but
I had no idea.
yeah.
It makes sense. But that's that was just like a fun fact. I was like, he related to Sophia Coppola, his cousin.
Also, Super Dave Osborne, and his real name is Bob Einstein, and Albert Brooks is his brother. His real name is Albert Einstein.
That's his name.
Yeah, he changed his name to Albert Brooks.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I mean, I would do the same.
And Michael Keaton, obviously, going back to Michael Douglas.
I actually was wrong. Emilio Estevez is his birth name. The other Sheens, that's a fake name.
Yeah, Estevez went with his
Birth name.
birth name, and they went with the stage name. I guess.
So fucking Charlie Sheen took his dad's stage name.
As far as
That's weird.
if I was a Baldwin, if I was like one of the Baldwins, at some point I'd be like, I'm gonna be somebody else.
Really?
Billy Baldwin changes his name late in his career.
Billy
Yeah.
Baldwin. No, because that's staying power right there. If you're Baldwin, they're like, oh, well, come on in.
You're
Baldwin's-
Stephen Baldwin?
Billy
Wow.
Baldwin's got pull in this town, baby.
Steve Baldwin.
Steve. Yeah, that was just a fun fact that I learned about our friend and Nicolas Cage.
Our old
Yeah.
pal Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
He's a very big fan of the show.
Just topical because obviously Megalopolis is out and Coppola's back in the
You know, in Megalopolis, they give you, when you buy a ticket, they give you a free bottle of Coppola wine to go with it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You
That's
gotta
an expensive. That's expensive wine.
You gotta chug it before you watch the movie, so you get
Oh,
a good
God.
review.
You have to chug a bottle of
Yeah.
red.
If you go to Inglenook, there might be a room filled with Nicolas Cage stuff.
Cool.
Dedicated to Nicolas Cage.
That's cool.
That's sweet.
That's kind of weird, but
Yeah.
cool.
You have more Nicolas Cage facts?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you had like a game.
No, I don't. I just wanted to mention that.
You just blew your fucking mind.
Yeah, it did. Honestly, I was like,
Nicolas Cage is such a the more you think about Nicolas Cage in the industry, the more he stands out so much.
also Lily Collins is Phil Collins' daughter.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, because
Collins.
And Lily Rose Depp, you'll never guess who she's the daughter of.
Who?
Jim Depp.
Oh,
Oh, John Depp.
John Depp.
Jim Depp. So yeah, that fun fact about Nicolas Cage. Thank you for joining me. And then I was thinking about this idea we've talked about. I'm pretty sure we've talked about this concept, but I saw this video from Letterboxd with Tarsem Singh,
Tarsem Singh, yeah.
director of The Fall and The Cell and other things.
Yeah.
And in this clip, he talks about basically he says, if you're a great director, you'll get more work. If you're a shitty director, or if you're a director who makes bad movies, you'll keep getting work. But if you just make okay movies, you'll never get hired again. Right? And so I thought about this idea of like mid movies or movies that are just okay. And what I've always thought is that movies that are just okay are worse than bad movies.
Yeah, it's that scripture that I quoted for An Unfinished Life.
Yeah.
You know, you're a lukewarm Christian. I spit you out of my mouth, says Christ.
Yeah.
Either hot or cold. I want to know where I stand with you.
I mean, the thing about it is, I think that if you think a movie is just okay, you still got entertainment out of it.
Did you?
And then there's some other people who there's some people who will think you think an okay movie is just okay, and then someone will like obsess about it.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about like you as the individual, right? So it's like if a movie is just okay to me, it didn't move the needle in either direction, and it's essentially a forgettable movie, right? Whereas like a movie like Samurai Cop or Miami Connection, right? Where it's like those are
Memorable.
quote unquote bad movies, but I had such a good time watching them that they are way better than just an okay movie.
Yeah, so it's like what quantifies as a bad movie. So you're saying okay movies are bad movies, and then like the quote unquote bad movies are actually not bad because they're creating entertainment to keep the audience engaged.
Well, I think what he's saying is, at least what Tarsem is saying, and it doesn't really hold up for something, say, like Miami Connection, because that got popular later in life.
Yeah.
And it was just so earnest. But I think he's really leaning towards the Uwe Bowls of the world.
Yeah.
The guys that do directing for features like Full Moon Media, where they do the really bad, like CGI.
The Gravitas Venturas Productions.
Yes, those like straight to sci-fi original sort of movies that are just so bad that.
Now these are like obviously like the way that he's saying Tarsem is like it's very like black and white. You know, it's like kind of an extreme.
Yeah.
You know, obviously there's like some gray areas between like an okay movie being more entertaining than like a really bad movie. Like this idea spawned because I watched Jeepers Creepers Reborn, which is I'll talk about it in stream picks, but is not a good movie whatsoever. But looking back on it, I like had a decent time, more of a entertaining time watching that movie than I would watching like a movie like an unfinished life, where that movie just was like just so dull and boring and just white bread, just plain white bread, stale white bread actually.
Yeah, no butter.
Yeah, nothing that like moved it up or down.
It's a rice cake.
But doing so just made it worse than a movie like The Room, right? Which is a bad movie.
Yeah,
but it's fun to watch.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know if I can agree with Tarsem 100%, but I mean, there is some validity to some of those ultra bad ones.
I mean, it kind of harks back. Tyler Noe.
What?
That's a quote by you, harks back. There was a time in the podcast where we were counting your harks.
Yeah.
We were limiting your harks backs. What?
I'm not allowed to say a word now?
We put a cap. I don't know what the number was, but we put a cap on each episode.
Yeah, I learned a new word today. Big whoop. What about it?
Liaison.
Yeah.
Liaison. Yeah. Never heard of that before.
I forgot what my point I was going to make. I got cut on the hark back.
See, am I an MCC now? I'm on the front.
But yeah, the like...
Is that... Tyler's like that brain worm in RFK's head. He's just taking over our thoughts.
But yeah, the mid movies is like, I don't want to watch a movie that does nothing for me.
Well, I mean, like, it's subjective, man.
Well, I know it's subjective,
so,
but like,
so it's like
it's a movie that it will just be okay. Obviously, I wouldn't know a movie would be just okay going into it if I hadn't seen before. But by the end of it, I'd be like, it's kind of harsh, but it's like, well, that was actually a waste of time because I got nothing out of it.
I was kind of talking about this with Jack Fitzpatrick the other day, and he was like sending me movies that he was watching, and he goes, "Man, this movie sucks. You should watch it." I'm like, "No."
That sounds like me.
No,
this movie sucks. You should watch it.
I'm not gonna watch it because you already told me it sucks, and there's no like reason to watch. Like, I'm okay with watching a bunch of shitty movies, but I want there to be something behind it.
Some redeeming quality about it.
Yeah, Shout Factory had going out of print sale for some of their titles that they carry, and the Omen series is on there. What was the other one? The Fly. It was like The Fly Part 2, The Fly 3, The Fly's Revenge, and then the remake from Cronenberg. It was like a 4 or 5 movie box set for each of them. And I'm like, didn't even know there was 4 original Fly movies.
Yeah.
Or the Omen movies before the Omen reboot. So I bought the box set. They were super cheap. And I'm like, I really don't have a huge desire for it, but I'm like, for $12 for 5 movies, and now
I can't afford not to get it.
Yeah, and now I can watch the entire like history of The Fly, and it's like these 4 shitty movies spawned one of the greatest body horror movies of all time.
It reminds me of when
until the 2024 came into play.
Well, that's true.
And I will talk about that later.
Like if Megalopolis was met with reviews like it's all right,
yeah,
it would not get nearly as much attention. It would not be as like polarizing, divisive, and it wouldn't be sought out.
Have you seen the letterbox curve for the ratings? There's almost
for that movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's almost just as many 1 stars as there are 5 stars. Like it's almost even across the board.
If it was opposite, all 2.5s,
yeah,
I would be like, I don't want to watch.
And you see a lot of that. It's safe media and like Megalopolis has
Metalocalypse.
they have a moment where someone from the audience goes up to the screen and talks to the screen.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's like cameras on them or something, and there's a program that hears what the person's saying, and then the movie responds back to them.
Is they supposed to do that with every screening?
There's like supposedly they'll tell you if you have an interactive screening or not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so it's
Weird.
and it's like it's crazy, you know. I've seen that
That's
in
the
like
future.
I've seen that in theme parks and shit like that.
I've
seen
the
that-
turtles, the Finding Nemo turtle.
I've seen it in Las Vegas in 1996 or something like that. 1998. There was you're on the escalator at the Treasure Island, and there's a pirate character that's watching you. And I went up the escalator 3 or 4 times, I realized he's talking to actual people on here. So I stood there and talked to him. And there's a guy in a fucking booth somewhere. And the camera's on his face, and
Just
he's
watching
like,
you.
He's cracking jokes, and he's like, "Hey, you're
fatso.
You're back again. Why'd you lose all your money on the slots already?" You know. And I was like 13 years old, like blew my mind.
Just personal attacks.
Yeah, exactly. He was basically roasting everybody. But now they have it in it's Adam Driver talking back to you, and it doesn't look like a CGI shitty pirate or whatever. So it's like there's
How'd they film those responses?
I think it's real time.
He's there.
Yeah.
He's there. It's a live stream.
I think it's like a basically sort of like an AI model, you know, the 3D. I don't know. Who the fuck knows?
Well,
I'll watch it. I can't wait.
Anyway,
Sorry.
So I remembered what I was gonna say. So like it harks back to Fletcher telling Miles Teller that there are like no 2 words like harsher in the English, or
No 2 worse words in the
2
English
worse
language.
words in the English language that is worse than good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's obviously like in this context is like it's just okay, you know. And
I don't
like-
know. I think that's fine.
I stay away with if I'm warned, if someone tells me like it's all right, I'll be less inclined to watch a movie.
Either like so on cinematics, and first of all, Eric Holmes is the one who pointed Brandon Tamburri over to me. So thanks for that, Eric. Appreciate that. On cinematics, they Greg gives everything 4 or 5 stars. They call him 4-star Greg.
Yeah.
He just likes movies, and he's
Yeah.
very kind to movies. Every once in a while, he'll give something a 1 or a half star, or go on this long scathing review about how it like ruined his life
Oh,
when
he
he watched
really
it.
didn't like
and I'm
it.
like, oh, I gotta watch this, you know. So
Yeah.
there is a lot of power to that. It's either this is like watching music. I had to watch music when I found out that a able-bodied person plays full-on like
Disabled.
full-on autistic, disabled, and it's also directed by Sia, and the entire thing is made up of musical numbers in this young girl's mind. And I was like, this is wow. I have to watch this. You know, I'm expecting it to be terrible.
If everything was just okay, no progress would be made.
It's true.
I mean, I don't know.
I like it. I like it.
It's a very philosophical discussion.
Not really.
So
Not really.
No, because like if I watch a movie and I got nothing out of it, then it was a waste of my time.
Yeah, but the other person next to you would say, "Wow, that was one of the greatest movies I've ever seen."
But
A very small segment of the population.
the
might
person
say
next
that.
to me, I'm not watching it through their eyes. I'm watching it through my eyes.
It was a waste of Joseph's time.
I mean, that's that. Now we're just talking about art and it being subjective. Like,
No, we're not.
oh, we're not. Oh,
Like if it just does nothing for you, then I mean I guess we are. If it does nothing for you, then
Existentially, bro.
I don't know. It just didn't do a good job. Obviously, everyone's different, but like
exactly, because it's subjective. It's subjective. So like an okay movie is I feel like.
But I'm talking about my experience.
Okay, well, all right.
We don't need more mid movies.
Tyler would disagree.
Yeah, I know he'd disagree, but like I don't want to pay money to go to the theater and be like, that was a waste of time and money.
It's much worse when it's in a theater too.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you walk it out and you go,
'Cause that's an
"That was
investment."
That was okay.
Because you got to get the snacks and stuff.
The reality though is, Tyler, every time you commit to watching a movie, that's an investment.
I will say though, depending on the day, like I'm not going to waste a Friday night movie for a mid movie or Saturday night, a weekend movie for a mid movie. If it's like a Tuesday and I have the day off and it's 11 a.m., maybe I will.
Okay.
I'll be more inclined to do that.
Okay.
That's my experimenting time. I'm going to test out this movie and be like, tell people like, stay away from the movie. It's mid.
I know what you're talking about. I don't want to waste my prime time on this dreck.
This
But it's kind
stale
of
toast.
It's kind of interesting when like someone like recommends you a movie. I'm not talking about you two. Like at work or something, they'll like come up to you and say, "Oh, I watched this movie over the weekend. You should watch it. It's okay."
I would.
Now that's exactly, you're proving Joseph's point. You're it's fine.
So, but that's
I wouldn't watch it.
Why would you at that point go, "Oh yeah, I'll put that on. It was fine. 3 stars, 2.5 maybe."
Yeah, but that's the interesting point though, is that they just say it's okay, but it's like, why are they recommending it to you if they just say it's okay?
They're just making conversation. They don't know how to talk to you.
Oh,
They're
would
trying
you
to
recommend an okay movie?
Yeah,
I would never do that.
The only time I would go like,
never.
This movie's mid. You would like it is if I know that person personally, and I'm like, this movie's super mid, but it has Vernon Davis in it. I'm not saying Plan B's mid, but I'm just saying is like, you find a person in that movie or a concept in the movie.
You
and
think
you're like,
of something of that movie to be enticing.
The movie's about having a hard time conceiving. I can't remember that movie with Catherine Hahn and Paul Giamatti. Private something or other. But great movie, and it's about having they're having a hard time conceiving, and they're doing the fertility drugs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, if you knew somebody who struggled with that and then successfully had a child, you could recommend it to them and go, this movie's okay, but you might really find a lot of comedy in it because there's a lot of stuff wrapped
There's
up.
constant fucking in there.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes that has an element of condescension to me. Like, I didn't like it, but you might.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I thought this movie was stupid, but I think you might like it.
I mean, if you couch it that way, you're like, it's not my type
This
of movie.
movie is dumb, not funny. You might enjoy it.
Well, I get recommendations like that all the time. They're like, this movie is disgusting and grotesque, Pete. You'd love it.
That's a little different.
And I'm like, sweet. No, it's not. It's the same thing.
No, I don't think so.
It's the context of the movie that's different. I didn't enjoy it, but I know that you probably would because you like this type of movie. I'm not saying my opinion's better than them. It's just different than them.
Yeah.
Again.
That's what I've said.
All right, you got anything else?
Yeah. No, sorry. No, I don't.
Really?
That's it.
All right, cool. Let's get to some streaming picks.
Movies.
Want to watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus. Oh, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Stream picks. Movies that we watched on our streaming services this week that you can watch too. Tyler, why don't you lead us off?
So I talked about it last week very briefly about how I have a changed opinion on Joker.
Okay.
So finished it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't write it on Letterboxd yet because I want it to be very I want to articulate my thoughts on it and pay attention what I'm typing instead of the usual review I have on Letterboxd.
So you usually just give us some slop and make me read it on air, or read it on air for our listeners.
Correct.
Okay.
No, I don't. I think about it, but this one because
I think when I write.
Because when I yes, I do. Thank you. I have very conflicted thoughts on this movie now, because initially when we watched it, I very much enjoyed it. Very much enjoyed it. Okay. And then I think I saw someone talk about it, and it kind of sparked my interest to watch it again, because they were making some good points about how it's not good. Mm-hmm. And then I started watching it, and then obviously I mentioned it on the show. I didn't watch the whole thing.
Tell us why your opinion changed.
So my opinion, I'm not basing my opinion on someone else's. However, it did make me want to revisit because I think I was on a high. I was on a Joaquin Phoenix high.
Okay.
Because I love him as an actor. He's one of the greats. He's one of my favorite actors. And so when I watched Joker, I was thinking to myself, "Oh wow, he did so well." And then I watched it again because I only watched it one time, so this is my second viewing. And I think that what the movie fails to do is include Batman.
Okay.
Okay.
That's one fault of the movie. No Batman.
Fair. Not nearly enough Batman. And in this
For a movie called Joker.
and he's the child.
And so, I mean, I kid, of course, but my criticism of it is that they place it in the Batman universe because of like the Wayne Industries and stuff. I think what Todd Phillips the way he wanted to sell, the way he had to help sell the story is having it be dealt in like the Batman universe. And so I think
I'm confused though.
So that's the detriment to the story.
The character's called Joker.
Correct.
It's an origin story for the Joker. It has to be set in the Batman universe. I'm confused.
No. What the story? He was trying to tell a story of someone who was very mentally ill.
So you're saying if it was the same thing, but it wasn't Joker, it was just some random guy.
Correct. Yeah.
Doing that, you would like it better.
Yeah. I don't know if I would like it. I think I would like it better because I remember going into this movie thinking like it was gonna tie in like Batman, because Batman's like my favorite superhero and character. I identify with him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I am Batman, so
right.
But I was thinking about it, and I think that the story, there's not really much of a strong story there for me. After watching it a second time, Arthur Fleck, he's kind of just an idiot, and he's not really he's not. What I thought of when I was watching the movie is he doesn't really do anything. He moves through scenes, but I found myself thinking that there was no real impact of what he was doing in the scenes, except for the talk show, like the finale where he was at the talk show. He's like, Murray. It's like I rolled my eyes. I was like, oh god.
Okay.
I thought the violence was really good, but the story just there was some flashes of brilliance in the story, especially like with the mom and the neighbor. I really liked that aspect, but overall I was watching it and thinking like this is kind of boring. Like, okay, so like some rich guys like start bullying him like in a subway and then he shoots him dead. Like it didn't feel like he had a very worthy cathartic experience from standing up for himself to like shoot those guys. Like it seemed like he just did it, and then
like the impact decision wasn't earned in the story.
It didn't really feel earned. Like, I mean, they try to, for the character of Arthur Fleck, they try to make him very sympathetic.
Well, and he's got mental illness, like really strong mental illness.
Yeah, I mean, like he has like the laughing thing, but
I think there's more than that wrapped up there. That's just the one that you can see.
And the mom issues and stuff like that. And I mean, it didn't impact me on a second viewing.
Okay.
I think Joaquin Phoenix's performance was really good for what he was given, the role that he was given.
I thought you said he just slept walk through the scenes.
No, I'm saying like the character as written kind of slept walk through the scenes, but the performance was good. Like it wasn't a bad performance. It was just the way that the movie carried itself felt really just undeserved. And I think the reason why I feel that way is because it's set in the Batman universe. It's supposed to be an origin story for the Joker, correct? And so I don't think that Todd Phillips realized there doesn't need to be an origin story for the Joker. I mean, Tim Burton tried to do that in 1989 with the first Batman,
and he failed.
And it was, I mean, I don't like Jack Nicholson's Batman, to be honest. Like, I don't try to do an origin story for a Joker where he was a villain called the Red Hood, and then he falls in a vat of like acid and it makes him crazy, and it turns his skin pale, and like he has like a permanent face and stuff. Like, I don't like the origin story of the Joker, and there doesn't need to be one. And that's why I like Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight series.
He's just
and
there.
How he just comes out of nowhere. And that's what I think I was thinking of when I was on the second rewatch of the Joker. That
what was this other person? I want to know what this other person's opinion was. What sparked you to get there? They basically said the same thing, that they didn't like the fact that it was in the Batman universe.
Correct. Yeah. I think this would. I think just. I
You're
think
you're letting people on the internet bully you into changing your opinion.
no. I know
That's our job.
No,
You did say that at the top of the of your review here that I'm not basing my opinion on anybody else's.
Yeah, I'm not. It just
happens to align with it perfectly.
I saw a TikTok of it, and it kind of triggered me in thinking, like, you know what, like maybe like I had like some rose-colored lenses while watching the Joker, because I love Joaquin Phoenix, and he did a really great job at it. And I think that the movie overall like was filmed very competently and great.
You're not alone in your dislike for it, though. A lot of people think that it's overpraised, overhyped, and it's basically a Taxi Driver / King of Comedy ripoff. Like he ripped off Scorsese start to finish.
I mean, like, I wouldn't say he ripped off Taxi Driver so much, but I mean, there's similarities.
There's a lot of similarities. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, though.
It's more a King comedy, if anything.
The storyline of King comedy, but the vibe and the feel of the character.
But I feel
Travis Bickle.
I feel now them putting it into the Batman universe was a detriment to my opinion on it after the second viewing. And then also after watching Joker, it got me thinking, because I really like Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Well,
what if that was
I did like Pulp Fiction.
I did.
And so I watched Pulp Fiction.
Oh God.
What do you mean, oh God?
It's like you're going back to the movies that you initially liked, and now like, actually, that movie sucks.
Exactly. I'm not saying Pulp Fiction sucks, but
wait a second.
There's.
Are you telling me you don't like Pulp Fiction?
I think so. This was a very introspective.
This is blowing my mind right now.
This was a very introspective thing that I had, because after I watched Joker, I started thinking about like the classics that I would give praise to, and so I watched Pulp Fiction again, and I was like, you know what, I'm upset. It's. I think Quentin Tarantino, I think he is a jewel of a director, but
dude, what the fuck?
But Pulp Fiction, I think that a lot of the dialogue is pretty cringy, and it doesn't. I don't think it holds up. Like I think if what Pulp Fiction feels to me, it feels like someone who was on coke and just like wrote it was a very competent script. And the actors did very well. Costume design,
script was great, costume was great, soundtrack good,
acting
story good, acting's good.
No,
shot well.
No, yeah, everything
Terrible
was
movie.
good, but it just doesn't.
Not good.
For me. It just didn't like hit me like it did when I like watched it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Like it just after this time, I was watching it and I was thinking, well, this is a very cultural, impactful movie, and there's a lot of great aspects to it, but it just there's just something about it that feels very pretentious.
I don't know that he deserved to die.
There's something that feels pretentious about it, and like just really like the one scene that really sticks out to me that felt like just like peak pretentious was when Bruce Willis's character, he goes back to the hotel after killing Vincent Vega in his apartment. And he goes and he gets his girl, and he's on the motorcycle, and she's like what was the line? Fuck, I can't even remember.
Is it Zed's dead baby?
Yeah, the Zed's dead baby line. Like I went back in my chair. I was like,
how is that pretentious?
God.
He's just telling her Zed's dead.
No, but it's the delivery of the line that just like made me like. I mean, maybe I'm just being a little bit.
Maybe you're just a hater.
Yeah, maybe you're just in your hater era right now.
I might.
Wait, what? How
dare you?
I'm just saying, like, I didn't enjoy myself watching Pulp Fiction again as much as I thought I would, because I was just like, yeah, let's watch Pulp Fiction, and through the lens of how I was watching Joker, objectively. And
Angry Otter is in the chat. He says, number one, Joker's not set in the original comic book version. So it's a completely different universe. And he also says, if you go into a movie with a cynical eye, your own bias will influence your viewership of the experience.
I wasn't going with a cynical eye. I was going with an objective view.
Just sit back and enjoy the ride, he says.
Yeah, well, I think that...
I know why you don't like those movies now. Because you're a fan of mid-movies, and those are great movies.
Maybe so. Maybe I'm shifting into my mid-movie...
Are you done shitting on Tarantino now?
No, I'm not shitting. No,
Tarantino and Joker.
I'm not shit. Well, it is
undeserved.
His movies are pretentious.
Are they?
Yeah.
In what way?
Just the way that he writes them.
What's
the way he
What's the
directs
definition of pretentious?
them.
You don't even know what it is. How can you define it?
It's a feeling that I know.
I feel it.
I feel it.
It's like you're holier than thou.
Existentially, bro, it's really dark.
Wow. Yeah. But I thought I did not enjoy myself as much upon this view. I don't even know how many times I've seen Pulp Fiction, but I watched it with the eye of like, okay, like
eye
maybe
of the Tyler.
You're so lucky I didn't pull that clip. When you listen back to the show again, did you think that landed good?
Yeah, I did. Our last show was dynamite.
If you would have prepared, like you could next time, just so you know, let us know. I'll help you prepare. We'll get audio. We'll get a sting going.
Yes, I know.
We'll have it ready to go.
I know. I
just pull sunglasses out of your ass and become this Bon Jovi kind of guy.
I'm not asking even for you to do the prep. I'll do the prep. You just let me know. I'll help you.
I'm not gonna get into why my tardiness, but again, I just want to.
I have the
last
Tyler.
point. I just want to make one last point about Pulp Fiction.
Okay.
Is that the way that it's filmed? It's filmed in a way where if you watched, it came out in '94. So if you watched it in '94 and someone didn't watch it, they say, "Well, you know, I like films. I've watched Pulp Fiction."
Okay.
I don't know why I feel that way, but I mean, isn't that a meme with like film bros? Like they're saying like, well, Tarantino is like a really great filmmaker. Like,
well, it's like, I mean, yeah, I guess so. It's like film students and film buffs or whatever.
So it just felt pretentious for the sake of feeling pretentious. That's all I'm saying. Like I think that all of the performances and everything was great, but just the delivery of some of the lines, I didn't like Tarantino's feature in that. Okay, yeah, move along sign. So yeah, go check those out on HBO Max.
Go watch these shitty movies
I don't like.
No.
All right.
I was just giving my opinion on it. Isn't that what we're doing? We're discussing
it is. It is. And I'm busting your balls because I'm your pal.
Yeah.
I do the same thing to Jack. He gave Call Me by Your Name 1.5 stars. I was like, you fucking high.
Wait, he gave it 1.5 stars?
Yes!
How dare he?
Oh, it's because he's a homophobe.
That's right.
I love that.
Guess how he thought about I Saw the TV Glow. Ooh.
Don't get me started.
Don't even get me started. Two guys kissing that movie? Oh, no thanks.
Nope. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I have some new movies that are going to be on the docket for next week. But one
of them is American Mary.
Yes, that's true too. I really wanted to give because I was really introspective about those two movies. So I wanted to talk about them on the show, but
You've successfully talked through 2 move along sound drops. We're working on your 3rd.
I'm done.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'm done.
All right, Joseph, what you got?
All right. I have a few, all of them except for one, which I'll talk about last. I've already mentioned it, actually. Are all from your recommendation.
Oh, sweet. Awesome.
Or you've mentioned them in previous episodes. First one, best movie I watched this week, Challengers.
Hell yeah.
Streaming on
Jack's going to hate that one.
Amazon Prime. Because he hates tennis.
I was actually, he texted me yesterday and was like, he's like, why is Challenger so good? You give it 5 stars. Do you think it's good? I'm like, it's fantastic. You'll hate it.
Did he watch it?
He hasn't watched it. He hasn't watched it yet, but I'm waiting for that review.
But yeah, so Challengers starring Zendaya, Mike Feist, and Josh O'Connor. Mainly, those are the 3 main leads of this movie. Takes place in the world of tennis, directed by Luca Guadagnino. Also, he's gonna hate this movie because it's directed by Luca Guadagnino.
He does like Bones and all, though. He did like Bones and all.
Oh, that's also great. And I had no idea I had like hints of like the story and what it was about. There was like a kind of a throuple thing going on. That was my assumption. Love triangle of sorts. But had no idea how it was presented, how the story was presented, and it's essentially presented in over the course of one tennis match throughout the entire movie, and then you're just given flashbacks of moments of these 3 people's lives and how they're involved with each other. And it's really well edited, and it looks beautiful. It's a great technically shot movie. There's a lot of really fucking cool camera shots in this movie. A lot of like POV, you're a tennis ball.
Yeah. I thought that was so cool.
And then the POV, you're a tennis player. And essentially Zendaya is like a very talented and top tennis player in this world, and named Tashi Duncan, and she gets involved with these 2 other dudes who essentially have a crush on her in the very beginning of their introduction.
Yeah,
and at the time that they meet, they're all in college.
Check and see if we got Audacity still rolling.
Should be.
I heard a clip. Okay, just making sure. It's been on the fritz lately.
So they're all tennis players and they're all colleagues or peers. They're all essentially at the same level, and collegiate tennis athletes when they all meet. And then eventually Tasha Duncan and Mike Feist's character goes pro. And spoiler alert, sort of, kind of, it's like one of them, she gets together with one of them, and you are like, oh, they're together. And then you kind of watch through flashbacks how they end up together, and like the very tumultuous, interesting love sort of story that goes on. And when I was watching it, I was like, this is like the plot of like a high school, like a 90s high school rom-com, but in the shell of a Luca Guadagnino movie, because it's like 2 dudes have a crush on the same girl, and their friendship obviously becomes like tainted eventually, because it's like, well, I liked her first, or I liked her second, and it becomes this whole thing. And eventually some animosity develops between them, and then some separation of friendships and stuff like that. But it's like it's a crazy way to tell the story and how they do it. And then the characters themselves make decisions that I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
I know. It's a really good screenplay.
Yeah, it's a really engaging and well made movie. It was like, I wasn't expecting that from this movie, but
me neither.
But it was dynamite.
Yeah,
electric.
I'm really glad you liked it. It's
good.
It's fucking good. Yeah,
really entertaining. That's streaming on Amazon Prime. Also streaming on Amazon Prime. Pete recommended this last week, I believe. New movie on Prime now is Jackpot. And this is just above mid.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's above mid movie. And John Cena, I think, was the highlight of the movie. He's got some really good lines and comedic delivery and timing in this movie. I think he outshines Awkwafina in this. Honestly, think that like this is the movie I liked Awkwafina the least compared to other movies.
You liked her the least
in this movie compared to her movies that she's
interesting.
Other movies that she's in.
Okay.
I would say that I'm an Awkwafina apologist. She's not as grating to me as other people.
That's weird because I'm the exact opposite. This is one of my favorite roles of hers.
Yeah,
because she was the least annoying.
Nah, she was more annoying to me in this movie.
Interesting.
I think it was the jokes. A lot of the jokes fell through, especially when she's like fighting people, or like quote unquote like fighting people, and it's like
that wasn't great.
It was like, oh, okay, all right. But John Cena's got some good lines. There's a point where he's like protecting her. He becomes like her bodyguard because she won the lottery, and now everybody's after her, purge style, to get the lottery, and to get the lottery ticket. They're trying to kill her. He steps in, and then she's like very unsure of him for like a good chunk of their relationship. She's like very doubtful and is like accusing him of like, you just want the money for yourself. You're just gonna kill me in the end of this.
Yeah.
And there's this line that stuck with me that John Cena said, where Awkwafina tells him, is like, for a guy whose face looks like an ear, you have do a terrible job listening. That's not the line though. His response,
poor guy.
His response was like, you bring a lot of stuff up for me. I was called earface in middle school.
Earface.
I was like, what? How was that the coincidence?
It always cracks me up when people are written into the script to disparage one of the actors.
Yeah.
Like, look at you, fucking fat ass, and you're like, come on, I'm right here. I
know.
get it. It's glandular.
Yeah.
Glandular.
A lot of similarities to Self-Reliance.
Yeah.
Very similar to Self-Reliance.
Like the Purge and Self-Reliance combined.
Yeah, it was and Self-Reliance I think is equally as good. Maybe a little bit more funny with Jake Johnson.
I think the writing, the dialogue is a little bit better in Self-Reliance.
Yeah. But yeah, both worth a watch. Self-Reliance is streaming now.
Hulu, I think.
Hulu, yeah.
Before you move on to the next one, I have a review from listener Joel, who
Shinneman?
Yeah, from Shinneman. He wrote in and he wrote in and had a review of what's it called? Jackpot as well.
Hell yeah.
He says, "Hey, I'm finishing watching Jackpot right now from your streaming picks. It's exactly what we were looking for, and I agree. It's the least annoying Awkwafina has ever been. She's borderline a real person in this. One thing that kind of freaks me out is that this movie predicted the future. When they are in the panic room and Cena orders the phone strike, just months after this movie come out, Hezbollah has hundreds of members injured from
the pagers,
and some killed by mass attacks by exploding pagers and walkie-talkies.
Yeah,
and that was literally the same thing.
Yeah."
I didn't even connect that to the dots. So
no,
they had that technology ready for them ahead of time.
Our phones are explosive devices now.
We were talking about that because it's like, did the batteries explode? And apparently they replaced something in them before they gave them to Hezbollah with explosive device.
Yeah. Oh, so they sabotaged their phones and it plans to explode them,
which is just like the plot of Kingsman. You get the Obama phone, and then it turns you crazy,
Or Halloween 3, you get the Halloween masks.
Oh yeah,
bugs crawling out your eyes.
That's right.
It's gonna be October soon.
That's right.
Yeah.
67 days till Halloween.
Another movie Pete recommended. It's been on my watch list for a minute since I saw the thumbnail. Is The Contestant, streaming on Hulu documentary. And Pete talked about it, basically about a guy who Japanese guy goes on a Japanese game show in Japan because he's Japanese, and he wins essentially a raffle, gets his name pulled, and he doesn't know that he wins. I'm still kind of confused on what he said what they told him that he was going to win, because he didn't know that he was being recorded live for television the entire time that he was stuck in this room.
They told him he was going to get a chance to be a contestant on the new game show for this already established production company that was really popular.
Yeah. And so the producer of this show is such a fucking evil dude.
Yeah, he is.
And because he puts this man, Nasubi, in a room. It's like a very tiny studio, just single room. There's a kitchenette, coffee table, no furniture. And I assume there's a bathroom. You never really see it. They never talk about the bathroom situation. And they just put him in there, and he has to survive off of clipping out magazines and winning prizes. And
make mail away prizes.
He has to write. There's a bunch of envelopes, postcards, and envelopes, and a pen, and he has to submit to win random prizes. And so, he's completely naked. They stripped him of his clothes, And so he has to he's like winning a bunch of random shit, and that isn't food for the first part, and then he eventually wins rice. And
finally,
he wins some what is that? What is
tires?
No, he wins tires later, like a set of tires.
Set of 4 tires.
But he wins something before to cook the rice in. He wins like these little metal, like these pouches full of like yogurt or something.
Yeah, it's some sort of food packet.
And then he uses that packet to then put.
He can leave anytime he wants, though.
Yeah, he can leave whenever he wants. The door wasn't locked or anything, but there was it eventually they talk about like the kind of psychological effects of it, like kind of like that meme of the guy like digging for the mine, like the diamonds, and then the guy and the guy who gives up, right? So it's like is it Munchausen by proxy type of thing, or is it like a Stockholm syndrome a little bit?
I don't know.
Where it's like,
definitely not Stockholm because that's sympathetic to your
kidnapper. That's right. But he doesn't want to leave, and he stays there for a year and like 2 months, a year and 3 months before he eventually has to reach a goal of like 1 million yen in prizes.
Yeah.
And so he eventually does it in like 15 months. And then the producer is like, how are we going to end this? Because like it was like a Truman Show, right? Because he doesn't know that he's being filmed, and everybody is just enjoying and laughing at him.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the first leg, the producer they like come in and they blindfold him, and they give him like headphones, and they put like a suit on him, and then they drive him, and they take his blindfold off at the airport. And they're taking him to Korea. And then they do the same thing again in Korea. And so he's there for another, not as long. He's only there for like 3 months or 4 months before he wins. He reaches the cap again.
Yeah.
But he doesn't speak Korean, and they give him a bunch of Korean magazines.
It's so fucked.
It's so
this
fucked.
Poor guy.
It's so fucked.
And he's such a sweetheart too.
Yeah,
but why though? Why did it doesn't make sense to me.
The audience is eating it up
because the guy is Ed Harris in this situation. It's for money, for ratings.
Truman Show.
And eventually, throughout the documentary, they're talking to him, Nasubi, and he's talking about like what he went through and like what his mindset was, and how eventually he was like suicidal at one point. And and he talks about like why he didn't leave. And I didn't expect this to go this way, but it was a very heartwarming ending where he essentially turns his fame or infamy, I guess, into something good, and he becomes essentially like a rescue, like a mountain rescue for mountain climbing, for mountain climbing
like
and
Sherpa.
And like natural disasters because an earthquake happens at first, and then his village or where he's from, I think, was destroyed, like completely destroyed by a tsunami, and then he goes and helps, and then he climbs Mount Everest, or he attempts to, and then there's another earthquake at Mount Everest, and then a fucking avalanche comes down, and there's footage of it in the documentary.
Jeez.
And he becomes essentially, he turns the trauma that he went through into something positive for everybody else.
Did you say this one was on Hulu?
Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah, that's right.
And the reveal of like the whole end of everything, the end of the game show, is also fucked up.
Yeah.
Because they do it in front of a live audience.
Of course they do.
He's had years in the room and didn't even know he was live. And when they reveal it to him, it's in a fake room that he's like, oh, you're not in the third room. And that the walls fall down and he's naked in front of the world on a stage with a huge studio audience.
This is so crazy.
And he is so like perplexed.
Yeah.
Like where he is. He is like, he is a victim, and he looks like a victim.
He's
because
like a prisoner of war.
He's like emaciated. His hair is completely grown out, and he's butt ass naked in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And but it's like it's at the end it's a very like heartwarming and a little bit emotional.
Yeah.
But it's really well put together, and that producer fucking goddamn that guy's a fucking asshole. He calls himself the devil, so
yeah, he's very self-aware.
He's aware of it.
I don't know how they didn't. He didn't go to jail for this.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the laws would be like, because he was compliant. He could have left if he wanted to. If it was locked, I guess it'd be different, right?
Yeah.
But there's like exploitation obviously happening there, and what I wanted to know was like, what was his reward by the end of that? Did he get any sort of financial gain out of it?
Keep all the prizes.
You got the.
You got to keep those 4 tires.
I don't know. I feel like
the lobster.
That would have been
terrible.
I mean, I obviously he got his name known by everybody, but did he get anything?
He got fame and fame.
Yeah, because he wanted to be a comedian or something. Like he wanted to be work in comedy,
entertainer, something of that nature.
Yeah, because he was bullied in school because of like his appearance, and he was called eggplant because of the shape of his face, kind of an elongated face. But he's such a charismatic guy, even when he's like in this room by himself, going insane. But yeah, it's a really compelling documentary, and that's on Hulu. And then the fucking absolute worst movie.
Oh, sweet.
That I have seen in a long time.
I can't wait for this.
Is the 4th installment of the Jeepers Creepers franchise.
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers Reborn, shot mostly on green screen, I guess, because it is so obvious. It is terrible. It is like every other shot is like a green screen cemetery, green screen like a dead forest, spooky forest in the background. And
they shoot it at a Spirit Halloween store?
Maybe. Someone's garage. The opening of the movie is essentially just a rehash of the first movie, where they're driving, like 2 people in this old car driving by, and they see the beating you truck.
Yeah.
And it's before it was like, I think it's before the events of the first movie. I think because the truck is like, you can see the color, it's like red, and it's the license plate's not as beat up. But it's the same exact beats. It's like the truck drives behind them, and then they see the truck and the creeper dump a body down a pipe, and then the driver, the husband of the couple, is like, we should go back and check it out. And then exactly the same thing happens in that opening of the movie.
I already don't like this movie. I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, it is rough. Terrible acting, terrible production quality, and it is absolutely. I felt punished watching it.
You have one punishment movie that you don't have to watch because of this.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what compelled you to watch it? Like, just because you like Jeepers Creepers?
I mean, I like the first one a lot. I think it's actually a genuinely creepy and scary movie.
I really like the second one.
The second one is like a fun kind of more actiony scary movie.
Yeah. The first one is definitely very creepy though.
But I never watched the third one, and
I didn't even know there was a third one.
Yeah, and then this one obviously is in existence, and it's on Hulu. I was just like, kind of like, I heard this was pretty bad, like comically bad, so let's check it out. And so, no, it's just straight up bad. It's just.
It's like you just don't.
There's definitely like comical moments, like you can laugh at the terrible effects and CGI and VFX, practical effects. The creeper looks different. I feel like they try to give more of a reason behind the creeper. There's like a cult following for the creeper in the movie.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It says reborn. Is there like a
there's kind of something like reborn about it.
Okay.
But it's like it's really stupid. It's a really fucking stupid movie. So definitely punishment, and that's why it's on the list.
What do you think about? I've heard people say, I'm not going to watch it because, Victor Salva.
Oh, the actual creeper
directed, yeah,
the actual creeper, yeah.
Yeah, he actually, I don't think he has anything to do with this.
No, he's
no complete detachment.
I thought
so
he was
far
in
removed.
prison.
I think he is.
Is he? Is he now?
Yeah. And Earl Fowl Franny Coppola, he's paid all his legal defenses.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh my god,
bitch.
This was directed by Timo Vuarensola.
Emo.
So, is there any validity to? I've heard some people that watched it and said, "Oh, they basically shit all over the legacy of Jeepers Creepers in a way, in the sense that they're like saying, fuck Victor Salva, fuck this original IP or whatever." Is there any validity to that?
I mean, in the fact that it's a worse, terrible movie.
They purposely made a shitty movie to fuck him.
We're gonna tank the Jeepers Creepers franchise. We're gonna tank this. We're gonna tank this movie. We're gonna, it's like we're gonna take the fall in a boxing match.
Exactly. Yeah, they took a fall for this one.
Timo Warrensella also directed 97 minutes. Got a 3.9 out of 10. Reborn has a 2.5 out of 10. Iron Sky.
Oh, Iron Sky. I like that one.
5.9.
Wait, no, I'm thinking of Blood Red Sky. Iron Sky
The vampire.
Iron Sky's the vampire, or sorry, the Nazi, campy Nazi, like World War II.
The Reich Strikes Back.
Yeah, alternative future movie.
And then he made a sequel to Iron Sky, The Coming Race.
Ooh, I thought that was a porno.
The Coming Race.
Pretty sure I've seen a porno about that.
Who can win?
They're playing Ookie Cookie.
Welcome to The Coming Race.
Who can come first?
Who will come in on top?
Yeah.
And Geiger says Iron Sky is awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Wait, Blood Red Sky or Iron Sky? Iron Sky is
Iron Sky.
Okay.
I've heard that's good too. I haven't seen it.
It's got 5 awards and 2 nominations.
Cool.
Oh. But yeah, Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Don't watch it unless you lost a bet or are being punished to watch it. So yeah, that's those are mine.
All right, cool. So I got a couple of movies this week. I'm going to go worst to first. First off, not a bad movie, but just not a great movie. This is an interesting movie to talk about because we were just spending all this time talking about how we wouldn't recommend a mid movie to somebody. But this is a mid movie I might recommend to somebody that Joseph recommended to me.
Oh, I did?
Big Fat Liar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a 3-star movie, but it's fun.
Mainly Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
So if you look up the definition of commitment for an actor, it's Paul Giamatti in Big Fat Liar.
Yeah.
He is 100% committed to this role of being the snarky, dick-headed agent. Or
Marty Wolf.
Production manager, or whatever he is. Studio executive. Everybody in here seems to be having a good time. Dan Schneider, though, is associated with this, I'm concerned about how the production actually was.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about all that stuff. I didn't watch the documentary and any of that stuff.
Amanda Bynes was the worst, probably, victim of Dan Schneider.
Yeah. So, anyways, long story short, I think the actual like plot of this is pretty fun. The kid's a habitual liar. It's the boy who cried wolf situation, and he is on his way to turn in this report so that he can get out of summer school, and he's on his bike and he's riding there, and he gets hit by the car that Paul Giamatti is being driven in, the limo he's being driven in.
Yeah.
And Paul Giamatti ends up with, all the commotion, he ends up with his paper, and he turns it into a movie, which again, Joseph pointed out in his review, they have the fucking trailer ready a week later.
Yeah.
They're shooting the movie throughout the rest of the film.
Yeah.
They have the trailer.
But they have the trailer already cut in the can, in theaters.
Yeah.
That's the Marty Wolf staying power. That's the pull that Marty Wolf has. Paul Giamatti. And the kid and Frankie Muniz's character tells his parents, I already had it written. I was there. I was on my way, and a limousine crashed into my bike, and I lost it. Yeah, and so nobody believes him. And he's like, I don't even want money for the movie. I just want you to tell my dad that I'm telling the truth. I actually had the report done, so that because the thing that I like the best about this is that's the stake is the dad's disapproval.
Yeah,
because there's a great scene, where he's like, Dad, you got to believe me. You got to believe me. I know I've lied in the past, but you got to believe me. And he's telling the truth now. And the dad looks at him and goes, I wish I could, but I can't. And it's a very real father-son moment. And I'm like, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
And the whole movie, the stakes are that. I just want my dad to believe in me again. It's like,
he goes through some extreme measures.
Yes, which none of them make sense, but it's very fun. It's a kid's movie. It's like a Nickelodeon movie, but I know it's a Universal. Which I think is all the same thing, right?
Universal
I
Nickelodeon?
think they own each other.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
They're in at 69. Who knows who's on top? So
Snake eating its own ass.
yeah, that's right, exactly. So Big Fat Liar is streaming on Netflix right now. It's fun. I think you can watch it with any age. And light fare. This is one you might want to watch while you're midweek, eating dinner, watching a movie at the same time or something like that. Pretty light lifting. Next up, this is a relatively new release that is out available for rent right now. You can't stream it for free, but this is called Cuckoo.
Oh yeah,
Cuckoo from this year, 2024. I didn't know really what to expect about this, and then when you gave your review on it when you saw it in theaters, you mentioned that it was a creature feature. There's a creature involved, and that made me even more excited about it because I love a good creature feature. And it's not a traditional format. It's not like a something. Yeah, Jack hated this movie, by the way. He's in the chat, so thank you.
Well, Hunter Schafer's in it.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Come on, Jack. Be progressive. It's 2024. I know that it hasn't reached that year over there on the other side of the world yet, but
I think they've reached it first.
Yeah, I guess you're technically right. You guys are in the future. You should be really progressive in that sense. So, anyways, don't, he says. So basically, Hunter Schafer plays this teenage girl. She's 17, almost 18. She goes over to move to Germany with her dad and her stepmom and her stepsister, who is mute but not deaf. She can hear, but she can't speak. And they go, essentially for the dad is they're going to hook up with some friend he had there that runs a hotel, and they also have this psychological hospital nearby the dad's going to work in and stuff. So it all kind of makes sense. But the mom had recently died. Her real mom had recently died. So she's basically forced to be here until she's an adult and able to be on her own and all this kind of stuff. And throughout the whole thing, everyone's like, don't go out at night. There's bad things at night. She's like, I could ride my bike from the hotel back to the house at night, no big deal. And they're like, don't do it. We'll come pick you up.
Yeah.
Everyone's worrying about them. Don't go at night. And she does at one point. And she's got her headphones on, and there's a great creepy ass scene where it's in the trailer where someone's chasing her and she can't see or hear because she's got her headphones on while she's riding the bike. Mm-hmm. But you see the shadow of the street lights of someone reaching towards the bike as she's riding, and it's that was fucking creepy. It was really well done. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there's not as much suspense that kind of lives up to that. Once the kind of reveal of what the creature is or what the mystery is, it let me a little down. Just because I was expecting a little bit more kind of like that ultra creepy, ultra suspenseful, heart pumping sort of horror. And it evolved more into a traditional creature feature that felt almost like in the Jeepers Creepers universe, where it's
a little bit.
You have this thing, this one singular person that's causing all this. Yeah. And once it's revealed and you see the whole thing, you're like, ooh, that's good. That's good creature.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think the worry with new IP, new monsters in the universe, in the movie universe is what was that Amazon feature that was aliens are invading the Earth, and it was John Krasinski, I think.
A Quiet Place?
No, it wasn't A Quiet Place. It was maybe John Krasinski's not in it, and they're just they're kind of aliens. They just got to go out. Regular citizens got to go out with guns and kill them. They get kind of. It's like the Tomorrow War or some shit like that.
With Chris Pratt?
Maybe it's Chris Pratt. Yeah.
Where he comes back and goes back in time and is they're trying to prevent the Tomorrow War.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
I have no idea.
But the creatures there, they're kind of cool, but they're quadriplegic sort of aliens, and they got crazy jaws and big teeth, and they look reminiscent of a lot of other monsters. Mm-hmm. And it's when you're creating a new monster for a creature feature or an alien flick, it's how many tentacles can we slap on this thing? How big can we make the teeth?
How weird can we make it look?
How crazy and goofy can we make this thing look to look more menacing and more whatever? So when something comes along Live, Die, Repeat, or what's it called? The Day After Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow, that's it.
The Edging of Tomorrow.
The Edging of Tomorrow. The Goon Maxing of Tomorrow. It's that. When you see that creature or Attack the Block or something, you're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's an interesting character or creature. And this, they have that. It's not as visually striking, but once you actually get face to face, because there are some face to face moments, you're like, ooh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
But there's powers that come along with it and stuff. And I thought it was a very fun, creepy horror movie.
Yeah, there was a moment in the movie because like when you see the outfit that this thing is wearing, it's like I had this thought in my head on what they were trying to go for, and then I looked it up and I was like, oh, that was intentional.
What was it?
It was like because she's wearing the creature. It's kind of spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like she's wearing like a long coat,
trench coat,
and like a scarf, and like has sunglasses.
Yeah.
And I was like, that looks like Audrey Hepburn. And it's supposed to look like Audrey Hepburn.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. From The Birds? It's got to be from The Birds.
Yeah, maybe.
No, that's Tippi Hedren, not Audrey Hepburn.
But yeah, it's supposed to look like Audrey Hepburn. I don't know from what specifically, but I remember reading an article from like either the director or the costume designer about it, and I was like, oh, that was their intention.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when I won't go too far into like the reveal of all that stuff, but I remember when you were talking about it with me, I was thinking, oh, it's cuckoo. It's probably like a cuckoo bird. There's some sort of play into that there, and the cuckoo bird's a really interesting bird on its own. So, any ornithologists that are in the chat might already know what the twist is, but
there's some explanation in the movie as well.
They do. They give it to you if you don't know specifics about
how cuckoos work,
why cuckoos are the way they are. But I love the fact that they give it like a scientific name and stuff too. So yeah, that is you got to pay for it. It's like a $7 or $8 rental or something like that right now. Yeah, because it came out this year, and it was done by Tillman Swiger or something like that. Anyways, they're the director that made Loose, which I did not like from a couple years ago.
Lose without a Z.
Lose. Yeah, so it's interesting because they're Argentinian, I think, but it's in German.
Dan Stevens is in it as well, playing a German.
Yeah. And he almost has that voice that he had in that Cabinet of Curiosities short,
There's one scene.
Arlo Glow.
Yeah, there's one scene in Cuckoo where he is actually fucking creepy. Like probably like one of my favorite scenes is like when he's in the hospital room with Schaefer. Yeah.
You can also add this movie into the pantheon of movies where main characters are wearing bandages throughout the whole movie. Like Gosling in Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson in Chinatown.
Yeah.
You get the bandage on the nose, and
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad's a little bit of that, but she's fucked. she's like basically in traction for half the movie.
Yeah, like a car accident.
Yeah, it's bad. There's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, there's some brutal stuff in
it. Bruce says Hepburn, maybe from Wait Until Dark. I haven't seen that one.
Really? But Wait Until Dark?
Oh.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, there you go. And Jack says The Nice Guys. Gosling also in The Nice Guys with the
the broken arm.
Yeah, broken arm. Yeah, I think he's got a on his nose
cast
too.
And yeah.
So, anyways, so that's that. My next best movie that I've seen is a short, and this is from a indie filmmaker, mainly an actor that I've seen him. I haven't seen any of the stuff he's been in, but his name is Luke Barnett, and this is only available on Twitter. This is a he's
only on Twitter.
Yes,
Twitter original.
He made it
Twitter original.
So he wrote it with some friends. He shot it with some friends. He stars in it, and he's self-distributing just through Twitter. And the word of mouth has exploded on this. This is very much like a feeling of a Jim Cummings short, where it's like they just made the thing, they put it out there for the world, and said, "This is the best that I got. I hope you like it," and it fucking blew up. It's called The Crossing Over Express. So I'm going to read the synopsis because it's only 11 minutes long or 9 minutes long or something like that. So I'm just going to read the synopsis of the movie, the short, and then I'll leave it at that. Hank gets ready. He has the money with him. He just has to fill out the forms with Eddie, and then everything is ready for his appointment with Dr. Gail Gutzberg, a very peculiar woman who plies her trade in a white truck and solves crossword puzzles in her very own way. A few final instructions and off we go for the thoroughly skeptical Hank, and he only gets 2 minutes. This is a movie, if you ever feel like you need a good cry, put this on, it'll happen. Watched this one morning and just immediately was empty with tears.
God damn.
Yeah, it was, what an emotional short this is.
It's only 11 minutes too.
It might even be that, I want to say it might even be 9 minutes long. and it's you know, it's a movie about regrets that you may have, things you may not have said to the loved ones that you lost, you know, in your life. So, and I think that it's worth kind of you know, highlighting this sort of thing, because people out there, they can, like, you don't have to have this giant production. You don't have to have, you just have to make something that talks to people and speaks to people on the real terms. And it's a sci-fi, maybe some sort of like mystery vibe to it, but it's very much like a ghost story in the sense where you have that like melancholic feel, you know, the feelings of regret, feelings of emotion, but it's all wrapped up and it's like perfectly paced. You get in, you get the message, you get out, and just when you want more, the character wants more, and you don't get it. So it's so fucking
like a
good.
phantom pain.
It's so good. So I'm going to put that in the show notes, the link to it on Twitter. I sent him a message and asked him if he's got it streaming anywhere else. It may not be there for a specific reason. I don't know, but I haven't found it anywhere else.
Does he use like copyright music or anything like that?
That's kind of what I was thinking. Maybe there's something there, and they, you know, it's self-funded, and so maybe that's it. They didn't clear the rights for the music or something.
Yeah.
But man, it's good. I mean, he's got other filmmakers retweeting it and stuff like that. Big name people, you know, that are saying, yeah, this is it. Fucking this guy. Watch this guy. And he's done stuff in the past, but it's Luke Barnett and also Taylor Thomason were co-directors on it. So that's called The Crossing Over Express. That'll link to that will be in the show notes. And then my number one of the week.
Number one.
It's a movie that's only in theaters right now. This is directed by Coralie Farjat. She's a French filmmaker, writer, director.
Julie Ducournau.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And she directed and wrote a movie called Revenge.
Oh, yeah.
That is a fucking fantastic revenge flick. And it's brutal. It's in your face. It's very, very memorable, that movie. This is The Substance in theaters now. Is starring...
Is the song from the movie?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This is getting you in the mood for The Substance. Yeah. Starring Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, Dennis Quaid, Edward Hamilton Clark, Gore Adams, Christian Eriksen, and Robin Greer. Again, written and directed by Coralie Farjat. I don't know how to pronounce the name. This is a disgusting, hideous, ridiculous, over-the-top social commentary about the usefulness and the ever-present desire for women in, specifically in movie and whatever, but I think it applies to the rest of the life, outside of the industry. Their need to stay young, the need to stay relevant and look good and be your best.
Oh, I see.
Right? Yeah. And The Substance is, not the movie, but within the movie, The Substance is this mysterious product. And Demi Moore plays a woman named Elizabeth Sparkle. She's a previous Oscar winner from way back in the day. And
the Oscar goes to Elizabeth Sparkle.
Sparkle, yeah. And she hosts a workout movie or workout TV show called I couldn't even tell you what it was called, but it's like a Suzanne Summers style.
Okay.
Individual, like bright unitards, leg warmers, you know, the skin-colored leggings, you know, tights or whatever. So everything's very soft, out of, you know, a soft focus, that sort of thing. And it's very like, all right, ladies, let's do it. March in and move your hips and move your hips and move your hips.
And right here.
Exactly. It's very, very milquetoast, very old school.
Yeah.
And she gets canceled. The show gets canceled. And they're like, we need to get someone new. And Dennis Quaid plays basically the showrunner, and playing one of the most grimiest, skeeziest villains I've ever seen on film. He is fucking phenomenal in this, Dennis Quaid. If he doesn't get a supporting actor nomination for this, it's criminal. He's so...
Well, he's already got Reagan.
Yeah.
He can't win. He can't be nominated for 2 Oscars.
I know. In the same year, Dennis Quaid portrayed one of the most disgusting, vile creatures in history.
Ronald Reagan.
And also this guy from The Substance. But... So he cancels the show, and he's like, I don't care how long she's been. I don't care how old this is. Blah 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 blah. You know, we need to get someone new. We need to get someone young, someone hot. And she gets canceled, and then she finds out about this thing called The Substance. Somebody says, you should try this. It changed my life. And
have you ever heard of substance
no,
before?
the substance, not substance, the substance.
It's like the stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
This shares DNA with the stuff for sure because it is a mysterious product that comes out of nowhere. Seemingly doesn't adhere to our conventional laws of physics and whatnot.
It's like Stacy Keach and body bags.
Exactly. I mean, there's definitely bits of that bad hair and all that kind of stuff. And all she gets is a thing that says, you get one, this will create a new version of you, a better, younger, hotter you, but it is you. You are one.
Mm-hmm.
You get 7 days on as her. You get 7 days as your old, as the original, the Matrix, I think they call it. They have the new one and the original. 7 days on, 7 days off, no exceptions. And basically it creates a second version of her.
Like they're separated.
They are two separate bodies.
Oh, okay.
And the newer version is Margaret Qualley.
Mm-hmm.
And Margaret Qualley takes the world by storm. She's got all the same memories, all the same gumption, and all that same stuff, but in this younger, hotter body. And she gets, I'm not gonna. This is not a spoiler, but she gets the show, the replacement, and they could do this new workout show that is basically like a Cardi B music video. It is fucking hot. It is sexy. It is like ass in your face constantly, upskirt shots, but they're in unitards.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's so exploitative. It is so in your face. And it is just as impressive of a role for Demi Moore because she's being spotlighted as this aging superstar, which she is, full of plastic surgery, which she is, and being basically kicked to the outskirts of society, which she is in her career.
Mm-hmm.
In real life.
That's what I'm saying.
But now she's back.
Yes. And the range of her performance in this goes from like, I want to be out of the way, timid, demure sort of person. I don't want to, get in anybody's way, to I'm a boss bitch, to fuck that bitch, I'm getting mine back, to something that I've never thought I'd see Demi Moore ever commit to in a performance. So just as impressive as her performance is, which it is amazing, Margaret Qualley playing this like completely cocksure, over the top, in your face, I'm gonna flaunt it because I got it character is so fantastic. And she moves between this like, I'm gonna get mine, I don't care about you, old woman, fuck you, now it's my time. She moves from that to sympathetic to fearful to all this stuff just so effortlessly. And she's charismatic, she's enigmatic. And the other thing that's crazy about this is both of them are basically nude through like half the movie. Like completely stark naked nude. They do not shy away from anything. There is long lingering, because the whole thing is she comes out and she's like, look at me, I'm hot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm this young hot girl.
God damn.
And the camera just lingers. Like takes, like, you ever seen that D'Angelo music video where he's completely naked?
D'Angelo.
It's old from like 2006 or something.
No idea.
He's 100% naked, and the camera's just constantly moving around him, just barely out of view of the, the schwanz. And it's like they're literally just highlighting every aspect of their bodies, both of them, good and bad. And it's just
bold,
fucking bold. Yeah, it is wild.
Not Sit's striptease has Demi Moore displayed such a stellar acting performance.
Exactly. And then it goes full on body horror in the third act. When, as I'm watching this movie, I'm like, holy fuck. Like, there's a point when something happens and a character is revealed, a change to a character is revealed. And people in the audience that I was in the theater with me were gasping, laughing, cackling at how ridiculous and over the top it was. And I was laughing right along with them. I'm like, holy fuck, I cannot believe this is on screen. And if I'm watching this in a movie theater in public,
captured on video.
This feels illegal to watch this. So some of the things I've read on these are posts on Twitter. The substance should have audience cams in every screening where you can take away a printed picture of your face on a key ring like they do in Disneyland rides.
That'd be hilarious.
Yes. My thoughts on it were essentially that I had no idea that French women made such incredibly challenging and entertaining movies for sickos like me, because Titan was my favorite movie that year.
That was your favorite movie, Titan?
Yeah, that came out on top that year. And The Substance has become my favorite movie this year. It's beat Civil War, it's beat Challengers, it's beat all of that.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, this movie is something. A big part of it is just the ballsy filmmaking aspect of it, and it's very much its own thing while still shining a spotlight on the reverence of a lot of the movies that came before it.
Yeah.
So, references to this movie: Dead Alive, the amount of gore; Black Swan, split personalities, women fighting against themselves; Neon Demon, breaking away in the industry; Psycho Gorman, the creature effects; The Fly, straight body horror and disgusting pustules; Spring Breakers, the exploitative nature of the sexuality of the women; Stardust, a decomposition of characters; Perfect Blue, constant act looking for perfection; Requiem for a Dream, a dreamlike state in Ellen Burstyn's imaginary world is very much on display; and Society. Those are all comps.
Also Shining, visually.
Yeah, there's a couple references to The Shining in here. There's the long hallway and has very similar carpet and whatnot. And yeah, this is just fantastic. I mean, there's so much subtext to this that I can't even begin to unpack. But for example, a lot of the filming is taking place in a bathroom. There's a lot of bathroom scenes, and that is the primary site of violence against women in public is in bathrooms. Yeah. And it's I don't think that was an accident. There are scenes within a bathroom where the camera moves in a way and you're like, wait, where are we again? And the bathroom has changed to a space and a size that didn't exist before. And it cuts so seamlessly between the two, and it's just playing you like a fucking fiddle, this movie.
And it's only in theaters.
Right now, it's only in theaters. It just came out. I would encourage people, if you want...
You sound like you were on a movie high after.
Fucking A, dude. This movie's... And I don't think I'm overselling it. When you get as the movie goes on, I'm like, holy shit, this is crazy. Holy fuck, this is wild.
God damn.
And then the last 20 minutes come and I'm like, what? There was a group of 5 young men in my screening that were probably 20, maybe, around 20, late teens, early 20s. And they were sitting up front, and a couple of the insane sequences popped up and a couple of them cackled. They're like, oh, bro, what? And then the audience started, the rest of the theater started laughing and stuff. In the last 20 minutes, something happens and it cranks it up from a 10 to a 12.
Yeah.
11 and then 12. And as that sequence is happening, as the screen just turns basically red, start edge to edge, 2 of them get up and walk out and they never come back. And they left the 3 of their other friends in the theater until the movie was over. And I'm like, of all the people to walk out of the movie, a young group of, and they just look like young guys there to have a good time. Maybe they heard that maybe they thought Margaret Qualley was going to be naked in it, and they're like, oh, sweet. We can go watch some porn on the big screen.
Yeah.
Together. Like strip clubs. Go get boners with your friends.
Yeah.
That's a whole different conversation. But yeah, you're selling it on to me.
So it's pretty good.
It's all right.
Okay.
5 stars.
Only all right.
5 stars. All-star classic. This movie's an instant classic. It should be, and it's a heavily qualified movie. You can't.
I don't think I've ever even seen any advertisements for this movie.
This is the first movie that was produced by Mubi, M-U-B-I, that service. And speaking of Mubi, you mentioned Tarsem Sings The Fall earlier.
Yeah, it's going on Mubi.
Yeah, Mubi paid to have it digitally restored and is now available for streaming on Mubi.
That's crazy.
And it's a movie that was lost to basically time. You couldn't get
Interesting coincidence that Adam streams this movie that's unstreamable, and then a couple weeks later, Mubi's like, "Hey, we're gonna release this movie to the public."
He has a big pull in the streaming industry.
And speaking of Adam, and this is a perfect
Dude, what the fuck?
perfect what the fuck movie that should be played live in an audience at the Red Museum. This is the type of movie that you need to see with a group of people.
Oh, man.
So when this comes out, when this comes out on physical media, I think we should have a viewing party.
Yeah, we should see how much it costs to rent out the Red Museum to.
We don't have to do that when we can do it here. But so, anyways, that's The Substance. I implore everybody to go see it. It is fucking phenomenal.
Nice.
Anything else you guys got?
No.
Okay. So thank you to our cool ass yardities over on Patreon. That is Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris. And if you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass or just watch on the YouTube. That's what helps too. Thank you to all of our Patreon subscribers. We really appreciate what you do for us. Until next time. Thank you for Brandon Tamburri for joining us for his movie Plan B. Follow us later on in the week or later on today on live stream as we watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/middleclassfilmclass. Send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class. And please leave us a voicemail because we haven't gotten one in exactly 1 year at 209-730-6010.
Follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
See you next time.
See ya.
Oh my God! What?
I'm gay. I did it.
I am the law.
I think we can all agree that we really enjoyed this movie and this was a masterful piece.
Good point, Joseph.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call.
Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller? Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class Movie Review Edition. I'm your host for today, Pete.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Joseph.
And today we're going to be reviewing my pick from The Wheel of Destiny, a movie from my childhood that somehow escaped me. Today we're reviewing 1990's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Our family grows. The city itself will be our playground to use as we please. Rewarding ourselves and punishing our enemies.
We've been looking for you, Miss O'Neill.
There is a new wave. Freaks of nature. Together, we will punish these creatures.
What the heck was that? Looked like sort of a big turtle in a trench coat.
Huh?
Edging in. Siltrat.
Awesome!
There's music.
This is not the best of the soundtrack, but there are some slappers in the soundtrack.
I love being a turtle!
That's not the line read they
Lean,
used.
green, and
On screen.
On the screen.
On
Okay.
the screen. First of all, that's not the line read of that line where he says, I love being a turtle.
God, I love being a turtle!
Almost the same thing.
I think it was probably the guy in the suit, maybe, rather than the VO guy.
I love being a turtle.
They just left it.
That was the set recording of it. All right, so Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990, the year of our Lord. This is a adaptation of the wildly popular comic book series what came before that. There was also video game adaptations, many of those. Directed by Steve Barron, written by Kevin Eastman, Peter Laird, and Bobby Herbeck. This is starring Judy Hogue as April O'Neil, Elias Koteas as Casey Jones, Josh Paez as the voice of Raphael, David Foreman is the voice of Leonardo, Brian Tochi is the voice of, he's the voice, David Foreman is the performance, Leif Tilden is Donatello, Corey Feldman voicing Donatello, and the list goes on. This also has a small part for a very, very young Sam Rockwell and Skeet Ulrich. They're both in this movie.
Yeah.
Did you guys spot Skeet Ulrich?
I don't even know who that is.
He's Billy Loomis from Scream, the first killer.
Oh,
killer in
that
Scream.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Slick back hair,
Yeah,
Johnny
yeah.
Depp looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
okay.
His name is Skeet.
Skeet.
Oh, okay.
Like Doug's best friend and Doug.
I wonder if he's related.
Skeeter.
I wonder if he's related to Francis Ford Coppola.
Skeet Ulrich Coppola.
Skeet Nicole Coppola.
Yeah, there you go. So this is a movie that I put on the wheel because I've never seen it before, and
he's a turtle, and you're a turtle man.
Yep, I'm a turtle guy. I'm a car guy. I'm a turtle guy.
Turtle guy.
I'm a guy of very simple tastes. I like cars, I like turtles. I like brisket. But somehow I don't know why it escaped me. I don't know if it was like I don't want to watch it because I don't want it to be let down. I don't think it was that deep. I was 4 years old when this came out, so a little too young for it. And I found my appreciation for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book later on in life. I've always liked turtles for whatever reason. They always spoke to me. But I never watched the movies, and then the second one came out, and the third one came out. I don't know anything about those except for the second one's got a great subtitle called The Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. And then the third one is, I don't know if it has a subtitle, but it's set in feudal Japan, I believe.
Is there a third one of like this nature?
Yeah, it looks just like this same sort of puppetry or whatever.
I have no idea.
And it's like, yeah, they put the samurai helmets on them and stuff and the full like old school armor, but you're like, they're already ninjas.
Yeah.
Now they're samurais.
Now they're samurais?
Now they're samurais.
Now you gotta change the name.
What would they think of next?
Teenage Mutant Samurai Turtles.
Yeah.
Ronin Turtles. So I wanted to watch it and see what the hype was all about, see if it lived up to the kind of classic nature of the film, and we'll see what everybody thought about it. Tyler, first watch?
Yes, first watch.
Oh, really? Okay. Wow, it's both of us.
Yeah, first watch.
Tyler, Brianna was also really surprised that I'd never seen this.
Yeah, I expected if someone of your age would have seen this while growing up.
What the hell does that mean?
Well, I mean,
take offense to that.
I
You're
don't know.
advanced age.
I take great offense.
No, because you're I was born in the 90s, but you were actually living.
I was.
And so this was
Oh.
The most boring movie ever.
Really?
This one.
This is the one?
I was so freaking bored. I was really fighting for, like, this movie was really fighting for my attention. Like, it was hard. It was hard.
Really?
And I was cringing. I was like, what is this? Why do we have to talk about this? Couldn't have this just been a streaming pick?
Why did Pete do this to me?
Like, I mean, almost this. I mean, like, really, like, this was a punishment, like, for me.
It wasn't that bad. Come on.
No, it was. Like,
No, it
like,
was.
like, sincerely, I did not like this movie. I thought you were right that it is a kids movie because I think only a child would like this movie.
Come on.
You're the dissenter in this one now. I thought so when you watch it like in a cartoon version or in a comic or read it in a comic, like you can suspend your disbelief of like turtles walking around, you know, amongst
This
humans.
is your angle? I couldn't believe it.
But when you,
So next time you're telling me a talking rat is their coach, their sensei.
Anyways, yeah, I thought the movie was just, it was just boring. I didn't like it. I really did not like it. I didn't find anything funny about it. I thought it was pretty cringy. So
Did you don't find any redeeming quality? Not one thing. Say one nice thing about it.
I thought Splinter was the funniest.
He was funny?
Yeah.
In what sense? Funny haha? Funny how?
Like because like he had the accent and he was just, you know, just being
There is no racial bigotry here.
like he just, I don't know, he was just a funny
I
little
like I like the offensive accent.
yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Like
Jesus Christ, Tyler.
the offensive accent was funny.
I expect what I expect out of you.
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, your low is just, it's now in the basement.
Jesus.
What the fuck are you talking about?
So yeah, I thought it was boring. I mean, it's a competent movie, I suppose. Like
Competent.
But it just did nothing for me except for
annoy you and waste your time.
Except for bore me. So yeah.
Okay. Joseph, why don't you? I know you're working on something fun over there.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. What do you? How many times have you seen this movie? I know it's not your first.
I don't know. I mean, I've definitely seen it before. I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen it, but it's been a really, really long time since the last time I've seen a frame from this movie. I just remember it being on in part of my childhood, I guess.
Like one that popped up a lot. In
Yeah,
your childhood.
and I never had like history with like the comics or anything. I just knew about these movies really. And I really did not remember what this was about. I didn't know the plot. The plot of this movie I had completely forgotten about. I just remember the turtles, and I remember Shredder and Splinter. I don't remember Casey Jones, and I don't remember April O'Neil.
Yeah,
because at the time I had no idea who they were, and like that they were being pulled from
a comic.
Characters being pulled from comics.
Yeah,
it was. I think probably not as good as I remember. Probably as watching it as a kid, but I was never like, oh, Ninja Turtles.
You weren't like hyped on it.
No.
Okay.
It was, but it was just like kind of watching like a kid's cartoon, and it's just like it's on TV, and I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I feel like I might remember more of the second one, more of this.
Ernie Reyes Jr. is in the second one. He's kind of a main character. He was a stunt guy in the first one. Young guy.
Yeah, because I for some reason I remember Shredder being much bigger of a presence.
Yeah.
than he does, and I don't ever remember Splinter. The plot being basically Splinter being kidnapped.
Yeah.
By this gang of criminal ninjas, and but yeah, it was. I mean, it was not. I don't think that I'm the audience for this. I don't have any history with turtles. I don't think. I mean, I think Mutant Mayhem is a really good movie.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And it's just super entertaining, and for non-turtle Ninja Turtle fans. But this, like, yeah, it was very much the comedy and the nostalgia wasn't for me. It didn't hit me because I didn't have anything tied to it like that. So it was watching it now. It was very much okay.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
What do you think about Jim Henson's creature effects, at least?
Oh yeah, I did look that up. That his team was involved because
Yeah.
this movie came out the year that he died.
Yeah.
And
we got to do Jim right.
The practical effects of like the ninjas and mainly the ninjas, I guess, and and Splinter.
Yeah.
The funniest was when they were like young.
Yes,
young turtles.
They're clearly little puppets.
Yeah. That was the funniest.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Hungry.
They remind me of the Sewer Boys from Dick's the Musical.
Oh yeah, the Sewer Boys. Oh god.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle babies walked so Sewer Boys could
run,
do whatever the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. The ninjas of the bad guys, the accent was definitely a little dated.
A little bit.
Just a little dated. Maybe a little bit.
I'm so tempted, and I can't even do it. Like it's that offensive.
Yeah. And the weird, like Sam Rockwell and his like, they are like kids, but they like are.
He's the head kid.
And like the underground kid employees of this criminal ninja gang.
Yeah.
Like it looked like the same room that they shot, like where all the hackers hang out in Hackers.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I kind of remember Sam Rockwell though being in it.
Yeah.
I just didn't know it was him.
Yeah.
At the time. But yeah, it was a okay experience for myself in my current stage in life.
Got it. Okay. Overwhelmingly, everyone so far loves the movie. Great. Glad I picked this one.
I think we can all agree that we really enjoyed this movie, and this was a masterful piece.
Thank you, Tyler. I couldn't have said it better myself.
I know.
Good point, Joseph. So, first thoughts. Never seen it before. Talked about that already. I think the story is about as threadbare as you can get for this. It's like they're living there. You get a little bit of a side plot origin story to how they came to be.
Yeah.
And then, spoiler alert, Shredder is actually the guy that killed Splinter's master. Couldn't have seen that coming.
Is that canonical?
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. So, and basically they're just living their life, and then the Turtles are out of the sewer one day, and the Foot Clan comes and steals Splinter. And then they POW him for a while, and he's basically an emaciated. He looks like the guy from The Contestant by the end of this.
Oh yeah.
He comes out of there, and then they kill Shredder.
Yeah, they push him off.
They kill him.
The Turtles.
Yeah. And I think inherently one of the things that is the biggest problem I have about making a live action adaptation of this comic book. Video games make sense. Comic books make sense. Cartoons make sense. All those things make sense because you have two of the turtles that have blunt instruments. You have the nunchucks,
sticks,
and you have the bow staff.
And
then you have two with deadly weapons of slicing nature that can stab, slice, and maim people when used correctly, yet they never do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
That's a PG movie, isn't it?
It is. That's the problem. It's like you have two of them that essentially are forced to not use their weapons of choice throughout the movie, and instead like hit them with chairs and stuff, and like zip around like Three Stooges, and
they're very clumsy.
Well, they're turtles.
Yeah.
Well, they're turtles.
I mean, what do you want? They're not cheetahs. They're not monkeys. But they can't even use their instruments of choice, their implementations of choice. They're like, that's their thing.
Yeah.
It's like Donatello's got the staff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's Leonardo? Leonardo's the one with the swords, right?
I don't know.
I
thought Raphael was the one with the swords.
Raphael's got the size. The red one's got the size.
Huh.
Leonardo is the one with the nunchucks. He's the orange one. The blue one is Donatello.
I have no idea.
I don't.
I thought Raphael's red.
Listener, yeah, Raphael's red. He's got the size. I know that for a fact with 100%.
And he likes
Oh,
pizza.
Leonardo does
They
have
all
the
like
swords.
pizza.
Michelangelo is the orange one, and he's got the nunchucks. Michelangelo. So Leonardo's got the swords, and at one point they're having the fight, and he's slicing like this. Yeah, and he's like slicing, and like if he were to make contact, that guy's guts would spill on the ground.
Yeah.
So inherently, it's really hard to use these specific creatures in a live action adaptation.
Yeah.
Even if it was like the Michael Bay version where they're CGI, but they're real humans on the other side, you know? In a cartoon, you could do like Power Rangers, you
just,
slice
like,
them and they
strike
just
them.
like turn into dust or something.
And they're like, ah.
Yeah, and then nothing, and no blood, no nothing,
Yeah.
whatever. In like a more or less played as for a realistic like live action version of this, you have to basically nerf them 100%.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of it for me. That seems just like the medium that they chose to do this in is already stunts the project itself.
You set yourself up for failure.
Yeah, you basically said I'm gonna play a game that I design the rules in which I lose.
Yeah.
All that being said, the movie was made for $13.5 million and it made $135 million.
Jeez.
No shit, they made a sequel. You know,
So 10 times as much as
the people want turtles in 1990. We didn't have shit out there.
It was very popular.
And compared to something like Howard the Duck, which had flopped more recently after, like right before this came out, this was like a breath of fresh air, you know? I think the other thing that's kind of weird is that there's a kind of an interesting tone to it. Like it's very goofy and whimsical and then dark in other times.
Yeah.
You know, they show the flashback of like Splinter's master being killed. And right before that, the master's wife was killed. They're in like a darkened black room and she's just been murdered. He comes home and then he gets murdered right in front of Splinter.
Yeah.
And little puppet Splinter runs out and gets his ear slashed off. Yeah, it's like, this poor guy. But you're like, that's pretty brutal for a little kid's movie.
Yeah. I mean, Who Framed Mr. Roger Rabbit was marketed as a kids movie and it has some horrific stuff in there.
Love that character, Mr. Roger Rabbit. It's great.
Mr. Roger Rabbit.
I wish we would know who Mrs. Oh, there is Mrs. Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
She's the tall skirt. The
It's not
Quintazi.
Mr. Roger Rabbit?
It's just Roger Rabbit.
Oh.
So, anyways, all that being said, too, you know, I got to give it to them for the practical sets that they built. You know, not a lot of it is shot exterior in New York City where it's supposed to be. It's built, you know, out in North Carolina or something like that where they built the sets. But you have full-on humans in suits doing real physical things in a real physical space.
And that doesn't look like an easy task.
No, absolutely not. So, like, the effort put into this, and yes, it's a kid's movie, and yes, it's goofy, and yes, the plot is like, okay, it's not, like, super engaging or anything like that, and most of the jokes fall pretty flat.
For an adult.
For an adult to watch it after the fact, you're just like,
Let's go for it!
woo! Let's watch this kid's movie.
I did it!
Yeah. And like it's not amazing. But what it set up for the future, I think, is the legacy of the movie. You know, at the time it was because we have all these other great properties. The video games are fucking fantastic.
You see, the puppy was a dog. The industry, my friend.
That's right.
That was a revolution.
So I can't like completely shit on it because I don't think it's a terrible movie. I think for the time and for what they were trying to do, it was wildly successful. But it doesn't really have a whole lot of replay value. If it was my youth mind's eye looking back on it, I might think a lot more fondly of it. But I think it was fine. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what Secret of the Ooze is. I'm gonna watch it and see. And I've heard that the third one is trash.
You should have done the Godfather thing. Just put them all on the wheel. And
I wouldn't do that to you guys.
Thank you.
I wouldn't do that to you guys.
I'm gonna do it with the Three Ninjas.
No.
I have Three Ninjas Kickback.
Yeah.
And I have Surf Ninjas too, if you want to watch that. So yeah, the technical prowess is impressive. I think just making a movie that looks the way it does, and it's like you can see the cracks. You can see their like neck socks at the edge of their rubber bodysuits, you know, at certain points. And you can even see some crew members on set in the background. There's crew members ducking behind furniture that you can see.
Really? I didn't notice.
There's a frame in the bathroom when Raphael's in the bathtub, And I think
I did.
Donatello opens
Yeah.
his mouth really wide to laugh, and you
Yeah.
can see the guy's face inside, and it's like all that's it's so funny. But who cares? You know, it's a goofy ass kids movie, and I think it's a lot of fun.
That reminds me, in the last episode when I mentioned Jeepers Creepers and the Reborn, the 4th installment, there's some stuff like that in the movie where like the creeper, you can see the guy driving in the car. It's just a guy wearing like a bandana, like right here.
Oh, really?
And then you can, and then you see a human hand.
They did this in this too. There's a scene where one was skateboarding, and he goes like this, and you can see he's not even wearing the bodysuit or
that's
the
funny.
hand glove or whatever.
Yeah.
So so that's my thoughts on it. I respect it, but I don't think it's amazing.
I mean, I don't know. I think the whole the problem I have like with the whole Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like story is just how absurd it is, to the point where
you can't even get past the first.
Let's go for
The barrier is that accepting turtles as ninjas.
Yeah, well, in Teenage Turtles at that.
I could understand if they were adults.
Like, I think that's the. I never liked Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles. Like, I never liked them. I always thought it was like a cringe idea, even as a kid.
Now, when you say cringe, what do you mean?
Like, it's just like, ugh. Why would you
like disgusting?
No,
Gross?
just like it's just. Well, I mean, disgusting in an existential way, I guess. But I think
Existentially?
I think like the idea I can't enjoy the I couldn't enjoy the movie because I don't like the idea of like 4 teenage turtles living in a sewer, eating pizza, doing ninja stuff.
That sounds fun.
On paper it does, but executed it
No, you didn't say on paper. You saying just the concept you can't get past.
Yeah,
you can't change your story now.
I'm not changing my story.
Oh, yes, you are.
No, I'm not. I'm not changing my story. I'm just saying, like, I don't.
What
is
it?
that even? That
Yeah,
from?
what is
That's
this?
from the White Stripes.
Yes, it's just
Icky Thumb.
it's just my anger.
Okay. Well,
I'm trying
just
something new. I'm tired of the Kill Bill song.
Okay. Well,
Oh, okay.
I got it.
Or the May December.
Yeah.
I think that's the inherent problem for me, like enjoying this IP, is I just don't like it. Like, even if it's a good movie, like you were saying, like the Ninja Turtles Mayhem movie, and saying it was entertaining. Like, I'm sure it is entertaining, but I don't like.
But these eyes will never see that movie.
No.
Why not?
Because I don't like. I just don't.
You don't like the
it.
recommendation of your 2 best pals telling you that it's a really good animated movie and you'd love it, Tyler?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly what I'm saying. No,
I mean,
just
give me
saying.
another reason.
I'm just saying. Like, I just don't like the idea. Like, I just think it's dumb. I think it's a dumb idea.
You know, I think it's a dumb idea. A berserk.
How dare you?
What the fuck is that even? A guy with a big ass sword who's just roaming around. He's a. What's the concept of berserk?
The concept of berserk?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Guts. What is Guts' story?
We're gonna make this into an episode
story?
of about berserk.
Just answer the question.
What's Guts' story?
Yeah, what's his storyline?
Okay, well, he was born from his hanging mother on a tree.
Dumb.
And then
That's dumb. Okay, continue.
Are you kidding?
Continue.
Keep going.
No, it's fine. I'm done.
No. I'm proving a point.
I'm just saying, I never liked the idea of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so it was hard for me to like get over that barrier to watch this as a movie in a critical eye.
As Angry Otter says in the chat, it was never an amazing film. It was just a fun film.
So even if you watch a Turtles movie, you watch Mutant Mayhem, like say it wasn't Turtles, say it was just human teenagers.
That'd be fine.
It'd be fine. It's the same.
It's the fact that.
Let me finish. It's human teenagers, human teenage mutant ninja humans.
Their mutation is that they're extra strong and fast.
Right. They're 13 years old.
Yeah.
They're ninjas, and it's the same exact movie, same exact story, same exact performances, same exact everything. Change it to Turtles. That's what, and then all of a sudden you don't like it.
That's. I mean, I guess so. Yeah.
Tyler,
That's a very superficial way of looking at a story.
Judging a book by its cover.
It's very speciesist,
by its
actually.
shell. Tyler,
Because
we
you
see-
just said if it was humans, I'd like it. If it was turtles, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yes. That's
Yes,
that's
I'm
what saying.
speciesist.
There is no racial bigotry here.
Fine. I'm speciesist.
What have you seen Zootopia?
No. Come on. Come on.
I think the lady doth protest too much. Are you?
What's a movie starring animals that talk that you do like?
Kung Fu Panda.
We wouldn't have Kung Fu Panda without Teenage Mutant
Okay,
Ninja
but a
Turtles.
ninja panda is okay, but not a turtle.
He's a dragon warrior.
I liked oh fuck. Who's the master in Kung Fu Panda?
Master Shifu.
Yeah, he's a tortoise. I like
No,
him.
that's Oogway. Master
Oogway.
Oogway. Yeah, Shifu is the
small
the red
little-
panda played by Dustin Hoffman.
Oh.
But Master Sifu is Master Oogway.
I mean, I can't explain why I don't like
Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wait, you said you did like Oogway the turtle?
He's a tortoise.
Wow. Okay.
He's a tortoise, not a turtle.
On an existential level, I just can't get beyond the fact that they have shells. No, wait, not shells, but the fact they have shells and they're water dwelling.
Exactly.
That's the thing that you latch onto that you don't like.
No, I never really liked the story or idea of it at all. So I don't.
Did any of you guys think that they were gonna like hook up with April?
No.
Like Raphael was gonna hook up with April because there was a little bit of like, ooh, she likes you.
I
They call
think,
her hot, didn't they?
Yeah.
And when she name checks him on the news, he gets all flustered and blushes,
Yeah.
blushes and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
You ever seen a green man blush before?
yeah, I thought there might have been some romantic intent.
But yeah,
at
she
some
just
point.
goes for the weird hockey mask wearing hero.
Yeah,
His character always shocked me too. I thought he was a bad guy.
I did too.
Casey
Like in the
Jones. He looks like a friggin' the Punisher, like Jason Voorhees or something.
like in the beginning of the movie, like when he's like beating
Beating up
the-
Skeet Ulrich and his friend, yeah.
He just keeps beating him mercilessly.
2 minutes for hooking, 2 minutes for a high sticking. Yeah.
He's just a hockey vigilante.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool. I like it.
He's like a 30-year-old dude.
It's kind of like in a Kick-Ass where just all of a sudden there's a crime problem, so the citizens start putting on outfits and taking care of matters into their own hands.
I mean, it didn't even seem like there was that much of a crime problem, though.
Dude, people's shit was getting stolen.
Oh yeah, I mean they were getting pickpocketed by teenagers,
By criminal ninjas.
and criminal ninjas roaming around. Like that seems like a very that seems like something the police department could have taken care of without the turtles.
They're corrupt. I think they're in Shredder's dojo.
Yeah, probably
On Shredder's payroll.
Yeah.
I really liked Splinter's puppet.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was really good.
Once I saw his face, I'm like, that's definitely a Henson property.
Yeah.
He's got that like long snouted beak look to him, which
Scruffy.
yeah, real scruffy. And you're like, this kind of looks like the fire goblins or fire whatever they are, embers, what are the flamies from Labyrinth?
From Labyrinth?
The three guys that pull their heads off.
Oh, those terrifying guys.
Yeah, they had the same kind of face as those guys.
Yeah, take off your own head.
Yeah, you can't throw someone else's head. The weird underground child casino.
Yeah.
Basically, the Chuck E. Cheese. They shot that on site at Chuck E. Cheese. The rat casino. It seemed like that was a comparison to what the bad guys seemed like in The Crow, the original Crow. They're like, hey, we're gonna take a shot. We're gonna eat a bullet, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like swallowing bullets and like making making a fuss in a restaurant. And they're like, we're the bad guys. We do stuff that's not right, you know?
Know what I'm talking about?
You know what I'm talking about, guys, you know? You think I call my mom on the phone? Hell no. Hell no, I don't. I'm a bad guy. I wear leather. And all these kids come in and they're like drinking generic brand beers, smoking cigars. I thought the kid smoking the cigar was hilarious.
Smoking dope.
And they're playing roulette
Yes.
and blackjack.
Yeah.
who's governing this entity? Where's the money go? Is there a house in this? Can the kids actually win money?
Is the kid a dealer? I can't remember.
I think there is a kid's a dealer.
Yeah, the kid
It's
is
not
a dealer. Yeah,
it would be kind of funny if one of the Foot Clan members was the dealer, you know, and they're wearing like a cummerbund and a bow tie.
That'd be hilarious.
Pit Boss is walking around with a red blazer on.
See, that's what they could have done with this movie. They could have made it a little bit more absurd.
Well, they wanted originally the original cut was supposed to be really dark. The scene where the Splinter's right hand man, second in command, beats the shit out of that one kid.
Yeah,
Shredder, you mean?
No, it wasn't Shredder. It was Shredder's the bald guy with the really thick accent.
Yeah.
He beats the shit out of one of the Foot Clan members because he.
Yeah, and the training dojo scene.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the training one, but he like did something wrong, and they were in like the locker room, and he beats the shit out of the kid, and the kid's on the ground, and they pull his mask off. So the young Asian kid gets the shit kicked out of him.
Oh yeah.
That scene was supposed to be that kid died.
Oh my God.
Originally,
that kid died,
and they added in after the fact. Oh, he's still breathing. He's okay. In the they ADR'd it in there.
Oh really?
And they left it.
Oh man.
And they said, oh yeah, wow, he got hurt. Oh, he's still breathing because the original cut was so dark. They
didn't want to see it. They didn't want to have a child die on screen.
Yeah, well, the director, Steve Barron, he was fired from production at the very end of the shoot.
Well,
and because he was trying to make the movie so dark, and they basically took away final cut credits from him.
Oh,
the ability to do a final edit. So they added a lot of levity into it, and they pulled a lot of the darker elements out of it. So, and even still, with the cut that they have, a lot of parents complain that the movie was too violent for their kids.
Really?
You know, I one thing that it sticks out to me right now is when who's it? Leonardo. He's ordering the pizza, and he's just I think
it's Michelangelo.
Oh, Michelangelo. That's right. That I don't know the names. That's how detached emotionally
it's okay.
I was from this movie.
Listener Steven is so mad right now. He's a huge turtle fan.
Oh, okay.
He loves the TMNT.
So when he was ordering the pizza, he was just like pepperoni, ham, and no anchovies. No anchovies.
If I see anchovies on that thing, there's gonna be problems, buddy.
And it's just like they're not gonna add anchovies like by default.
And guess what comes on there? Anchovies.
I can't believe. Wait, maybe if you didn't mention the anchovies, hold the spits for a cop.
Yeah. And then he's a real asshole too, because he gives the address, but the address doesn't exist because they're living in a goddamn sewer.
Okay.
And so I feel for this delivery guy because he's looking at the address.
Oh, game recognized game, huh?
I really did. I really did feel for him. He's like looking at the address. He's like, well, this is 8.5.
He's like, oh, been there.
And then
been there.
And he's just like, where's 8 1/4?
You know, always deliver to this tree stump every Thursday.
Well, Michelangelo's an asshole because he knows that he can't find he won't be able to find the place, so he's trying to get a discount because he's a cheapskate.
Why?
And so
no, because he was late.
And then then he's just holding up a $10 bill. It's like, here you go, delivery boy. Here's $10. And he's like,
what do you want him to do?
Maybe come out and greet him.
He's a fucking turtle.
He's a fucking turtle who's been sworn to secrecy by his boss.
Well, see, and now this is
father.
This is another. Okay, well, first he treats the delivery person poorly.
Okay. Maybe he should have been on time.
Yeah,
he was on time.
No, he wasn't.
He was standing.
Joseph, would you recount to me that scene and what Michelangelo says, or I think Michelangelo says before the delivery driver is even on screen.
Yeah,
I already know what he's gonna say.
He said he's got 30 seconds.
Yep, and then that's in the sewer, and then the smash cut to the outside, no delivery driver in sight, and he says, "Ha, he's late now. 10% off or whatever.
$3 off.
$3 off." And then we see
doesn't even tip the guy.
Then we see the moped come around the corner.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even matter if he could have found the place.
Well,
he was a minute late. A minute late's a minute late.
Already late.
That's bullshit. That is bullshit.
That's their rule.
They made the rule. Domino's made the rule.
Well, fuck Domino's for doing that rule. And actually, you know what? It's fun. What I will say.
Steve Domino was listening to this right now.
His name is Steve Domino.
Yeah.
Mr. Domino.
President, CEO, founder, and creator of Domino's Pizza.
What I really do like about this movie, I'll say something positive about this movie because I've been shitting on it, is that I love the placed advertisements. Like you get the Domino's. There's other ones that I noticed too. Oh, you get a Gatorade one at one point, and they show the best Gatorade that they show the best vehicle that Gatorade should be served in is in the glass bottle. You don't need a
Gatorade in a glass bottle.
I've never seen that before.
You've never seen a glass Gatorade bottle?
No, why would I?
I don't know. But I saw
perfect thing to take onto the sports field. A glass. Put on the sidelines while I'm playing football. Hey, toss me that glass bottle of electrolytes.
Well, and then I mean, I think Domino's should have sued this movie really because the pizza that they delivered it did not look good.
It's like a real Castaway FedEx situation.
Like I'm pretty sure Domino's paid to have their likeness in the movie.
I'm sure they did too, but they could have at least put a little effort in making the pizza look like edible,
decent. I think I made a mistake. I should have been eating pizza while watching the movie.
I know
because they the Turtles. If you didn't even know, if you didn't even watch the Turtles, I feel like everybody knows that they love pizza.
Yeah. They have that. It's like the iconic like string.
Yeah,
like,
the stretchy.
Yeah,
that's from the comic books and stuff.
The cartoon and stuff. Yeah. I thought.
The there's a very unique double feature movie that goes along with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
One of my friends online did this double feature, and I thought it was a great idea. I didn't have time to do it this way, but I thought about it. It's you watch the first 10 minutes of the movie until Raphael goes to see Critters.
Yeah.
You stop the movie, you watch all of Critters, and then you continue the movie.
Oh, that's fun.
And it's like you're there, and he comes out and goes, people don't make movies about anything. And then they go to Elias Koteas kicking those thugs' ass.
And I think really like what blows my mind about this movie too is that they're teenagers. Like
again, I can't believe it.
Why does that blow your mind?
Because you think they don't act like teenagers. I mean, I know they're turtles, so like I mean maybe there's like a difference between human being teenagers and turtle teenagers, but
I don't know.
They of course they act like in an immature.
They definitely don't act
way.
how my turtles act.
No, they do not.
My turtles are in their 20s right now, though.
Yeah.
Actually, no, they're teens.
They are.
I think about it. Yeah, they're 14.
Oh. Well, they don't act like the.
They don't act
mutant.
like it. That's for sure.
But that's the thing, though, is like it's in the name, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But I never.
That's what it's called. Oh, okay.
But I. But I never.
Description.
I never got the impression that they were teenagers. Like
in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie.
I mean,
like it was.
Michelangelo acts like a dope. They're constantly roughhousing and fucking off, not listening to their dad. They're teenagers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
They're acting like a bunch of gabagools.
Right? I mean, yeah. I guess
they don't have jobs. They don't listen to their parents.
Do you think
their jobs are ninjas? Do you
think they acted older than teenagers?
I'm not saying that they're not acting of the age that they're presented as, but I don't understand. Well, I'm saying it's like ambiguous. It doesn't. It doesn't matter.
It could be either way, so I'm gonna assume it's the wrong way.
It could be like they were like in their 20s. You know, like even if they said like mid-20s mutant
Ninja
that
Turtles
right off the tongue.
Or mid-8. Like I mean,
Tyler, will you calm down with that rag over there?
Why?
Because you're on camera playing with a rag.
I have to do something with my hands.
I don't do it with my hands.
But I don't know why they have to be teenagers. Like, can they just be like
the relatability?
Yeah, because number one, teenagers are impulsive, so that lends to their like poor decision making.
Immature.
Yeah, they get into trouble and they do fun stuff,
make bad decisions.
Yeah, if they were in their 40s, they would just be too tired to go out all the time.
Maybe so.
But I would like, it would be nice if they actually were voiced by teenagers.
Like in Mutant Mayhem.
Mutant Mayhem, yeah. It was a return to, I think, the roots of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And it wouldn't even be that hard because their animatronic or the actual physical actors and the voice actors were different, except for Raphael. Same actor did both for Raphael. But they could actually be in there doing their thing and then have some young teenagers with maybe their balls haven't dropped yet do the voices. You know what I mean? It is kind of weird also that Raphael has a really strong Brooklyn accent and Michelangelo has a surfer accent.
Yeah.
Cowabunga.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I know they're in New York, but I mean, I guess you can surf on the East Coast. But
Yeah,
it's
and
like
then the other two just sound like they're from Tucson or something.
yeah. Like one's from California, one's from
Straight up Brooklyn.
and the two are from Little Rock.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, man, if there's any anchovies on that, there's going to be problems, you know? It's like, okay, you're from Brooklyn?
He's got 30 seconds. If you know how he's fucking dead.
Yeah.
That was really good, man.
Very good.
I thought the scene where they find that Splinter got kidnapped or whatever was really hilarious as well. I actually had to rewind that scene like 2 or 3 times
Just to laugh at their plight.
because I didn't know like if I missed something because the sequence of them going into the room, it jumps really quickly and
We were really tearing this movie apart. You have like no goodwill with this movie.
it was the scene jumped really quickly and there was like a couple of times where like I look away
for
for
this one scene that was just like I mean I know I saw Splinter get kidnapped and I know I saw they were out of the sewer, but when they came back it was just like they're just there again.
Yeah.
What's up with that? And they're teenagers.
Don't forget that.
Don't forget.
But oh man, what he says, he's like Splinter or he's gone.
Hilarious.
It was I laughed a lot. It was funny seeing their misery.
You have anything to say, Joseph?
Yeah.
Are you also pissed off that they're teenagers in a movie called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
And based off a comic book called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, the properties that preceded the movie.
I mean, yeah, it was kind of anticlimactic towards the end and the fight scene between Shredder and all of them, and then they're just kind of push him off.
Yeah. Well, didn't like Splinter try to save him? He was hanging.
Yeah,
up,
he did
hanging
actually
from the ledge, and I don't know what actually transpired, how he actually fell.
Yeah, he was holding on to him, and then I think Shredder tried to get one last
I think that's what it was. Yeah,
one last swing in, and then he missed, and then he fell.
I like this. I like that Splinter didn't explicitly be like, beat himself up over the fact that he fell. He's like, "They will fall at your own demise," or something like that, and he fell to his death. And then gets crushed by the garbage compactor in the trash truck.
Yeah. He comes back, I think.
Yeah, they make a second one.
Yeah.
The voice of Splinter was also voiced by the guy that does Elmo.
Really?
Yeah.
From the Muppets.
Who's a serial philanderer in real life.
Philanderer?
Yeah, he's like a sexual deviant.
Oh, the original voice of Elmo?
Yeah, the original voice of Elmo. Kevin Clash is his name. He was retired in 2019 after it was always well known that he was a master cocksmith in the industry.
Cocksman,
he was he was basically like David Spade or Leonardo DiCaprio.
David Spade is one too.
Oh yeah, he's just slinging that thing all over Hollywood.
Yeah.
They made jokes about it in New Girl. Cece says something about, well, I had to. He had his hand inside Elmo. They never explicitly say that she fucks Kevin Clash, but they do imply it.
A little wink.
Later on down the road, it came out that it was underage allegations as well, not just that he was a sexual.
Now that doesn't make me laugh.
A prolific sexual, prowess. He was also a freak. A sick individual.
Creeper.
Yeah. Very good. Lighten the mood. So what was I gonna say? Oh, I had some trivia.
Yeah.
Let me get over here. Okay. Oh, great! It just refreshed. There's a lot. I couldn't screenshot.
I'm sure there were
all this stuff.
Nice.
Okay. Where are we? There it is. Okay. So here's some facts about the movie. First off, this is the final theatrical movie for Jim Henson, which you touched on earlier. He died just a month after the film was released originally.
Oh my God, this movie killed him.
It definitely,
it was the pneumonia.
Definitely did. Yeah, it could have been that. The Foot Clan hideout, the Channel 3 storefront or like building front, and the farmhouse are all standing to this day still in North Carolina.
Oh.
Tatsu.
I don't know about after this hurricane.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I hope all our listeners are okay. I have some friends that have family out that way, and the pictures that people are sending out are
Is there some
terrifying.
listeners that are out kind of in that direction?
Yeah,
I hope they're
definitely in
okay.
that area. So yeah, Tatsu originally was supposed to have killed the young Foot Clan member after his vicious beating. In the script, it was deemed too dark for production, so they ADR'd in sounds of him breathing and others saying he'll be all right. Also, they were threatening to make it bump the rating up to PG-13.
Oh,
at least I think it's PG. Yeah, it's PG. Okay. Robin Williams was a huge Ninja Turtles fan, and there was a film called Cadillac Man that he was shooting with Judith Hoag. So he found out that she was cast for the movie. He fangirled out and took her back to his house and showed her all of his comic book collection of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, help her prep for the role. That was kind of cool. John Paez, who played Raphael, he's the one who basically broke it that Steve Barron was fired from production because the movie was taking a too dark of a turn.
The Carl Urban of of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles of the 90s.
Yeah, the Pete Travis dropped the Pete Travis bomb on us. So there's cameos for all four of the body actors of the Turtles in the movie. The one that plays Raphael, he was the passenger in the cab in the back seat. So what was that? He was Raphael's body. Mike Michelin Sisti, who played Michelangelo, he was the pizza delivery guy, the Domino delivery guy.
That was it. Wow.
Leif Tilden, who played Donatello, he was one of the messengers, the one that slapped April O'Neil in the face.
Oh my god,
that scene cracked me up.
Yeah,
your voice is getting you into trouble. You should close it. Like, what the fuck? And then David Foreman, who was Leonardo, he was in one of the scenes in the sewer when like the gang leader was in front. He was the guy right behind him. He was like the third in command, I guess, of Shredder.
Okay.
He was like a gang member. Let's see here. Ernie Reyes Jr., who was known for playing Keno in the second one, Secret of the Ooze. He was Donatello's stunt double and fight actor for action sequences. April O'Neil's character in the comics wears the yellow jumpsuit. The actress, Judith Hoag, said, "Hell no, I ain't doing that." They dyed a white jumpsuit for her costume, and she refused to wear it. That's why they gave her the yellow raincoat in the first scene.
Oh.
She wore that.
She didn't want to wear a tracksuit?
She wouldn't do it. She said, "No, I have my standards.
Weird.
I will be in this movie with animatronic turtles, but I ain't wearing that." The shooting location in North Carolina was so close to the airport that the radio-controlled animatronics for the heads had interference from interference from the control tower. Yeah. So a lot of times the faces would just go crazy and go haywire and go all over the place.
I would love to have seen that.
Yeah.
Huh. That's hella funny.
Also, I watched a behind-the-scenes thing, making of, and they had the way it worked was the helmet itself would receive a radio frequency from a hand puppet, basically. So the person had a mic in front of him, just like this, and had the hand here, and he would be talking just like he was a turtle with his hand, and the face would be moving along with it.
Almost like a Hoggle situation.
Exactly.
Hoggle's
Exactly. I'm
mask.
Pretty sure that's how they use the same technology. And Jim Henson said it was his most advanced creations to date.
This is my most advanced creation to date.
That's right. Let's see here. What else I have? Oh, yeah. Then Sam Rockwell has a cameo in it. And the film had a ton of criticism because of how violent it was. The backlash caused the sequel to avoid showing the turtles actually using their weapons, opting for a much lighter tone and comedic layer in the second
They don't use the weapons in the second one?
Apparently not.
What do? They're just like...
Maybe punch?
Waving him around?
I guess.
And Vanilla Ice is in it.
Yeah, Vanilla Ice is in the second one. Yeah. Do you notice the Ninja Turtle song that John Cena sings at the beginning of Jackpot?
Yeah. At the end.
Yeah.
The ending song.
Yeah. So anyways... That's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have a couple comments that people mentioned on Twitter. I put a post out to see what people thought about it. Joey Batiste, I think we call him Joey Butts. I think his last name is pronounced Batiste, but he says, people call New Line Cinema the house that Freddy built. And while they aren't completely wrong, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles absolutely had a major hand in that studio being a success. With Freddy Krueger and the Turtles, without those, you don't get Lord of the Rings.
Also, Mortal Kombat.
yeah,
the original Mortal Kombat.
That's a good point. Like if we didn't get this movie or Nightmare on Elm Street, yeah, I mean that would be a huge disservice to our society if we didn't get the Lord of the Rings.
To New Line Cinema. I think whenever I see that New Line Cinema intro, I think of what's it called? Home Alone. That's why
I was thinking Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, really?
Yeah, because they played the music, the Mortal Kombat music over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. What a slapper that is.
Yeah, it is.
And then I seen it.
Test your mind.
Yeah. I seen it pod, which is Jason, who's one of our Patreon members, says the best superhero movie, the best independent movie, the best New York City movie, the best father-son movie, the best man versus creature movie. And admittedly, one or two of these is hyperbole, but you get the point. He says, in no world should I care as much as I do about some overgrown turtles, but between rallying around a comatose Raph and Splinter's speech, there's some real emotion being drawn out of you. And I think there's a couple scenes that do a good job if you care about the characters. If you don't, if you're looking like Tyler over there, shaking your head at the fact that they're under the age of 20, you can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it the best superhero movie. I wouldn't
You don't have
characterize
to.
that.
You
Are they
don't have to.
superheroes?
Yeah, are they superheroes? They're mutants.
They're mutants. What makes an X-Men a superhero and them not? They fight crime.
That's
I
true.
feel like superheroes are only people with actual superpowers, like Superman and like Green Lantern and like Iron Man is. I guess he's not a superhero, but he has something that makes him.
Is Jubilee from
superhero.
X-Men a superhero?
What does she do?
She
shoots fireworks out of her ass.
She shoots fireworks?
Yeah,
Like
out of her ass, dude.
Yeah.
I'd say like the Freeze guy in Rogue is a superhero. Well, I don't know.
It's a real tricky, sticky situation.
Superman is a superhero.
It's the only one.
It's
the only
it's the
one.
obvious.
It's in his name.
It's the obvious one.
Yeah, he's a
Batman. I don't know.
No,
He's
his
just
his superpower
He's a
is
billionaire.
his superpower is his plot armor that everyone gives him.
His plot armor and his wealth.
In his wealth.
I want to see a movie where how he becomes the world's greatest detective, because we only get his physicality training in the movies. We don't get like his.
I think
He's
you're supposed
studying game tape.
Yeah.
Studying like old cases and stuff.
like reading books about.
I want to see that.
Stuff.
I want to learn where he gets
That
his
would be
one-liners. Thumb drive. I want that. Get it. It's a Riddler guy.
But yeah,
He's good.
Mutant Turtles.
Yeah, they're mutants.
That's the super part. The fact that they are ninjas is just anybody can be a ninja, to train to be a ninja.
Yeah, anyone can be a ninja.
Maybe they're extra strong. They're definitely stronger than my turtles.
Yeah, you think you could in a fight between your turtles and them?
Oh, Pepe and LB would be fucking dead. Dead.
I don't know. I'd have my money on Pepe.
Nah, Pepe's a puss.
He showed his.
I think
LB shows dominance.
Yeah, LB definitely. He's always mounting Pepe.
well, because Pepe likes it.
Come on, Tyler. Talking about, I don't even want to get into that. It's very insensitive. We also already established that you're speciest.
That's true.
Yes. I don't know why you don't like my turtles.
I do. I love them. All my heart. I'd carry them out in a fire.
And then apparently also a very weird connection. I didn't research this much. So I'm not going to speak about it. But Jason from Binge Movies told me that Geiger, the comedian who smashes the watermelons,
Yeah.
his agent was also the agent of the director of the movie or something like that. And it was a huge Ninja Turtles fan, and he helped get the movie made. Like the Gallagher was so prevalent at the time that he's like, we need a Ninja Turtles movie. Make it happen.
Oh, Gallagher. Made it more. Made it happen.
Gallagher made it happen.
Made it. It's such a weird. It's such a weird
What
scenario.
a time the 1990s
I
was.
know. I'm like thinking like of all this trivia that is behind the scenes. It's like
I know.
It sounds like it was a really great time to like get this movie off.
Picture this. Kids are just walking around with neon green and purple shirts that say Gecko on them. Gecko Hawaii. Triangles everywhere. Taco Bell has vibrant colors.
It's just
the world is a better place in 1989. That's what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
Mullets everywhere.
Well, I mean, except for the whole Gulf War thing, but yeah, no, the whole story of getting the Ninja Turtles movie made, like, it's fascinating. And
well, the other thing that's really cool about it is that the two friends made the comic. They're just watching weird movies one night. I don't know have the names of the two creators of the comic, but they're just two friends. They're artists. They're just drawing goofy pictures all the time. And one of them drew a picture of a Ninja Turtle. It was a movie, some crazy creature feature, and it was a turtle that had a sword in its hand, a samurai sword in its hand. and he gave it to his friend. He said, "Here, you look at this. Movie last night reminded me of this." And his friend said, "Oh, that's funny." And he drew 4 of them with different weapons in their hand, and he gave it back to his friend. And he's like,
"Oh my God,
let's do something." He's like, "Let's do something with this."
We
And
have something here.
So they
From humble beginnings.
They redrew it. They added names. They added colors to them. To their bandanas or whatever, their eye masks. And then they're like, "This is kind of fun. We should draw a comic over this."
Yeah,
And they made a comic book, and then it fucking took off.
Yeah. I mean, from humble beginnings, man.
And there's a movie out right now called Wild Robot, new DreamWorks movie.
Oh, I heard about that one.
The original book was written by a guy named Peter Brown, and I follow him on Twitter, and he is just gushing over the fact that the book that he wrote is now this huge DreamWorks movie, and it's getting wild praise for the animation and the story and all this stuff. And it's like, where did that come from? He just thought of a story of a robot living in the wilderness by itself, and he took it from his brain, wrote it into a book, illustrated it, published it, and just somebody found it at DreamWorks, and now it's this fucking worldwide phenomenon. It's like, that's the power of independent production. And the power
it kind
of creativity.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you think, like, if something like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles could be made into this majorly cultural phenomenon, like, what else is out there that what is not discovered yet or will not be? It's like the possibilities are endless.
That's right. So don't let people like Tyler tell you that you shouldn't make it.
Right? I wasn't saying not make it.
They should be in their 20s.
Why'd they have to make them teenagers, though?
I don't like it.
Or turtles. Pick one or the other, not both.
Yeah, I can't get on board with it.
That's a bridge too far.
I don't like my teenagers when they're turtles. I like it when they're humans.
Yeah.
That's what Tyler said.
I think here's what I really think is.
Okay.
I think maybe Tyler's suppressing his furry urges just a little too much.
I'm gay.
Tyler, what animal would you be if you were a furry?
What's your persona?
Yeah, what's your
my
persona?
Jesus, probably a cat.
Cat?
Yeah.
Meow.
Yeah, it'd be a cat or like some sort of feline.
Maybe an Eye of the Tyler.
You're feline fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You're feeling feline like cherry wine.
Yeah. No, I'd be a cat. I'd be a cat.
So are you?
Why don't the ninjas be cats?
Is your hatred of all these animal movies because you can't
Teenage Mutant Ninja Cats
embrace that you're actually a furry in disguise? You can't accept who you truly are.
Where were you during SAC Anime?
Was that the weekend you took off here? You couldn't show up? Oh, boy, I got a sprinkler. I got to fix a sprinkler.
Mom, my landlord told me I have to.
Yeah.
You actually just got your custom-made furry suit in the mail yesterday. And you wanted to wear it around town. I can't wait another minute. It's burning a hole in my pocket.
I know.
I did it.
Spent over $2,000 on that thing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cat, obviously. Like I definitely have a cat personality, so cat. Like, I'm agile like a cat.
Are you?
Yeah, yeah, dude.
Oh, okay.
Who do you think would win in a foot race?
I've seen you climb a wall.
Tyler's malnourished. I don't know.
I'm not. Say that. I'm not malnourished, man.
You look like you haven't had a vegetable in like 6 months.
What? Do I really look malnourished? Listeners, I want you to weigh in on this.
You look like the contestant.
No, what?
When's the last time you got your hair, Tyler?
A year ago.
I was texting I was texting with your mom the other day, and she said, "Can you encourage Tyler to cut his hair? He won't listen to me."
You didn't.
She said, "Get him to use a brush."
She said, "Boy, don't get me started."
Maybe you can speak to him. You guys talked on that weird movie show you have.
Okay.
Listen to Jamie. Listen to me too. Comb your hair.
Comb your hair.
Seriously, who'd win in a foot race?
Like if we just ran down the street.
Of who? Of us?
Of three of us. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
From
the playground over there at the park right across the street to my front door.
I mean, I wouldn't be first.
I put my money on Joseph. I think
Joseph might.
He's in the best shape.
I
of
might
all
be
of
in
us.
a close.
He's climbing rocks all the time.
I'm not even in great shape.
That just speaks to the quality of me and Tyler.
Maybe we should just be ninjas.
We're gonna live stream a foot race between
between the three of us.
All of us.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Tyler, why don't you give this a grade?
Let's go for it.
Well, just considering all of the stuff that we talked about the movie, I was gonna come into the show grading it like a D.
Give it a D.
No, I'm not, because
D for Donatello.
Just discussing it and reflecting on it, I'm gonna give it a solid C. Just the production quality is very solid, very good, and I didn't know it was by Jim Henson, but now knowing that, I have a greater respect for everything. And I did not know also that it was filmed in North Carolina. I thought this was on location.
So that gave it a great bump up.
Yeah.
You're
so like just like the effort.
Huge Tar Heels fan.
So like the effort of like into the effort into the production really elevated my grade for it, and my opinion on it as well. I think the story, like Joseph said, like I wasn't the audience for this movie, but I think the story was just really straightforward, simple, something a child could digest and appreciate, have fun with. Yeah, I mean, just it's average. It's an average children's movie from the 90s. But it has elevated production value.
All right. C for Tyler. Joseph, what do you give Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Like a C+, I guess. Yes. I mean, same thing. Pretty much the story is very simple, but also like not really that compelling. The turtles were the turtles. They were
turtling around.
They were just like, annoying little not listening to their father teenager characters, and the jokes and the writing was definitely something that would be more impactful for a younger audience. I think so. A little underwhelming in that regard, because I thought I would like at least have a more fun time watching it, because like the nature of like the live action, like the practical effects and stuff. And there was like the sets were cool, and the animatronics and everything that they did was cool, but all of it just kind of added up to just a mild experience.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
So B, what do you say? B minus?
C+.
C+. Okay, C+. I think I was thinking of my grade. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a B. I'm on the edge of a B minus, but the production quality of I think the suits were just so cutting edge at the time.
Yeah.
It was really, really brought it from what could have been like a shitty looking, blue screen, green screen. And at that time, you don't want to do that. I mean, it's already jarring when you see it now when it's done more or less good. But in the early 90s, having the 4 main characters, if they were to just green screen all that shit the whole time, it'd be rough.
Yeah.
Or like having them pose and just cut out a screen because they're like puppets or something like that.
Yeah.
Having full body suits with a crazy remote controlled animatronic heads, it's like that's really, really something. But the script could have used a couple more passes, or just scrap the whole story and do something more compelling from the beginning. And the tone, you could tell that the filmmakers didn't know what they wanted. They were fighting between the whimsical kids tone and like the dark, ultra realistic tones of like their origin stories. So all that didn't quite work for me. I still think it's pretty fun, but this is a movie that I would probably point to along with something like Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
It feels like a really 90s movie. This is it. So I'm glad I watched it. I don't think I'm going to revisit it.
Yeah.
So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is now off the wheel, and now it's time for the Wheel of Destiny. 1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny. Okay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Oops. Is off the wheel. And I don't have a replacement picked just yet.
You don't?
No, I don't. I've been kind of kicking around what I want to put on, and I didn't really have anything compelling. Let me check my notes and see if I have something from back in the day. Who's the wheel? You know what? Fine, we'll do this one.
Okay.
I was told this is fun, and I brought it up on a news story a while back.
Oh.
A new movie that's coming out that is from the Has Fallen universe.
The what? Oh.
So we're going to watch Olympus Has Fallen. Olympus Has Fallen.
Olympus Has Fallen.
I've heard it's fun. It's Jerry
Butts.
Jerry Butts.
Yeah, I was gonna say Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
Isn't Jamie Foxx the president or something?
I have no idea. I guess we'll
Someone's
find
or Morgan Freeman or something.
I don't know.
There's White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen
Down
at the same time. It came out around the same time. Yeah, and I want to say that Morgan Freeman was the president of one of those. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. Listener Heather, she commented, we were talking about this online, and she said, "Oh, they're really fun." Maybe it was in the chat that day or whatever. Anyways, so we're gonna watch Olympus Has Fallen when it's time for that. It'll be a lighthearted fare, and we'll see what that's all about. Let's recap with the wheel. We have Olympus Has Fallen from Pete, Broadcast News from Tyler, Cyrus from Tyler, Tiptoes from Joseph, The Hunt from Joseph, Lars and the Real Girl from Listener Chris, and Identity from Listener Ryan. Oh, and also Falling in Love Like Movies from Pete. So here's where we go. We're going to spin this, and we're going to watch this next week. Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Tiptoes, starring
Tiptoes.
Matthew McConaughey and Gary Oldman.
Yes. Gary Oldman playing a person with dwarfism.
Yeah.
Oh, streaming on Amazon Prime.
Hell yeah.
So easy to watch. It's a romantic comedy / drama, rated R, starring Gary Oldman, Patricia Arquette, Matthew McConaughey, Kate Beckinsale, Peter Dinklage, Ed Gale, David Alan Grier, and those are the names that I recognize.
Can't believe they had Peter Dinklage on the cast, and they still put Oldman as the lead.
I just
Granted, Dinklage is a lot younger, so he probably wasn't the right age for it at the time, but
yeah, it's got a 4.2 on IMDb and 20% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Seems high.
I guess we'll find out. Yeah, streaming on Prime, Roku, Pluto TV, and Prime with ads, I guess.
Great.
So yeah, Tiptoes.
Can't wait for that.
So American Made for
Why?
Me
Why
and
that? By the way,
Tiptoes.
I mean, I think I know why, but
We gotta. I feel like we gotta.
It's infamously derided
because it's like a movie that this isn't a movie that exists. This movie exists. This is a thing that they made with Gary Oldman, renowned actor Gary Oldman.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to plug this giveaway one more time, and all right, here we go. We got some physical media over here we're going to be giving away. So I'm going to make a post on the MCFC podcast page. I'm going to make it from my personal page and ask Joseph, because he's in control of our Twitter page for our show, and just ask you to retweet it out. I got all this big stack of physical media here. It's the Planet of the Apes trilogy on Blu-ray, Godzilla vs. Kong 4K, Arrival and Annihilation 2-movie set on Blu-ray, Batman Begins Blu-ray, The Watchmen Complete Story Ultimate Cut on 4K, Dune Part 2 4K, Army of Darkness Steelbook, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 4K, and The Big Lebowski 20th Anniversary Edition on 4K. These are all up for grabs, and we're going to do some giveaways, like one a week for the next however many weeks. And pretty much all you have to do is find the post on our Twitter page. We'll probably ask you to pin it on the top so people can find it. And what we want you to do is basically just retweet. Tyler is totally a wolf. He's calling you out, Tyler. Oh! He's not a cat, he's a wolf.
Shouldn't I a duck?
Yeah, maybe he's a duck. So yes, the idea is you're going to have one entry if you're a YouTube subscriber. If you're already on a YouTube account, you already have an entry there. And we're going to do like a drawing. I'm going to put, there's right now 700 and something subscribers on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
They all get one entry. That's going to count for one. And I'm going to basically make it so if you retweet the post or you share on Facebook, basically asking people to subscribe to the channel to help promote the show for us, you'll be getting like multiple entries for that.
Or if you can think of a nickname for me.
That'd be good too. We could just do that. You could retweet it and say, Tyler's new nickname is this.
Yeah.
So we want to give people, I'm going to basically do like one drawing for the people that are sharing and one drawing for the people that are subscribers. And, we'll for the subscribers, like I don't have everybody's email address, obviously, who subscribes to the show.
Yeah, sometimes they don't even list
the
subscribers.
There's really no way for us to contact them,
Yeah.
but we can tag them in comments. So we'll pull some winners next week. We'll get one winner from the people who are sharing and one winner from the subscriber pool, and tag them in the comments or send you a message on Twitter or whatever. And then you just give me your address and I'll mail you out whatever one you pick from the stack. And if you want one of the mystery grab bags too, I'll send you one of those. It's 3 DVDs in a set. No idea what they're in there. Share with the class. Tell us if they're good or if they're bad or whatever. So it'll be fun. We thank everybody for subscribing and watching on the YouTube channel. We passed 700 subs this week, and they're still coming in. We're at like 706 or something like that right now.
Something like that. 708.
Ooh, 708. Sweet. We were at 701 yesterday morning. Cool. So we're trying to get to 1,000. So we'll do something fun. We do get to 1,000. I don't know what, but
something.
Yeah. Tyler, what do you think we should do?
Live watch along.
Sure.
Yeah.
Foot race.
The substance. Yeah.
A foot race. Yeah.
Let's do a foot race. And then whoever loses has to watch Jeepers Creepers Reborn alone.
Naked in a room for a year.
Yeah, we have to lock you in a room, take your phone away, one chair in the center of the room, nothing else in there too,
and take your clothes away as well.
That's right. And I'm not going to give you your fiddle rag either.
Dang it!
All right. Anything else, guys?
That's it.
Okay. So thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heder, Michael, Steven, and Chris. And if you want to support us on the Patreon, hit us up at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or just watch on the YouTube and share with a friend. That means a lot too. Until next time. Thank you for joining us as we review Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Follow us next week as we review Tiptoes. Dear God. And follow along because it's streaming everywhere. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast. And send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Middle Class Film Class, and leave us a voicemail at 209-730-6010. It's been a whole 365 days since we haven't had one, so please.
And follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC, and on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class.
All right, we'll see y'all next time.
See ya.
See ya.